You started it by flipping off the camera, and I appreciate
Yeah, I was like,
that.
why'd you count down like that?
Because I wanted to. Randy, what are you
Bro,
doing?
we're not making this.
Oh, it's muted. Okay.
This is a very serious game. We are very serious people.
Yes, we
I
are.
fucking
All right.
Yeah, that's why I'm eating cheese on wheat thins, because it's
Yeah.
very serious.
That's why I have Diet Coke.
So, without further ado, I would like to show you something that has been in the making for a week or so now.
Ooh. Exciting.
Dex Mod.
That's us.
Ooh.
Courtesy of my brother.
Yeah.
Billy threw that together from unwatermarked things on the internet that
Army graphic design school.
No, wrong brother, y'all.
Oh, little brother.
Yes.
Littler brother.
You said Billy.
Brother.
Littlest brother.
All right. So, last we left off, you had just entered the capital city of Bahamut after coming back from completing your quest in Ulfar to exterminate some threats to the Empire, otherwise known as Gnolls. And yeah, that's about it. You just entered the city. You just saw an argument between the general of the Imperial Army and a man you now know to be Alamar. You don't know what he does. You just know his name. So, what y'all doing?
What time is it?
What time is it? It would probably be about 2-3 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
I thought we ended with the sketchy stuff with Dredger.
No, we ended just after
Okay,
that.
sorry.
Publicity. I watched this morning. I made sure that I had.
Okay, that is literally the only thing I've been thinking about, so I apologize.
The DM is like, I can't be bothered to take notes. I'll just watch the live stream.
That's part of why we're doing this.
Archived.
All
I
right.
just got your haircut snap now, Raven.
There should also be a snap that also says it didn't send sorry right after that.
Oh my God,
Yes.
I got it.
The old Fey chat.
Paid check.
All right. Cool. All right. So this now begins what I like to call the beach filler of the past couple episodes. There's no beach, but
Damn it.
in anime terms, there's a filler episode. So
Bro, you can't.
Beach filler episodes are the best anime episodes.
Dredger's glorious moistened pectoral muscles will be saved for another session then.
Wow. You take 11 points of psychic damage. All right.
You think that, and God just says,
No.
All right.
The
All
holy dragon god the city is named after reaches down and smacks you across the face.
flicks me with like his fucking gargantuan claw,
He's like,
Okay. So
breaking my neck.
what are y'all
go to
doing?
jail.
I believe it would be very beneficial if we collected our earnings from the Lore Master.
That.
Okay. So you make your way. It takes about 20, 30 minutes to get there from where you are.
20 miles.
And you basically you show up, you see the very familiar sight, and beside the door ish is this old man wearing some tattered clothing who appears to be talking to himself.
Can I roll a perception check to hear him?
You can sure try.
I'm good. Okay. Yes. I am trying. I was going to say, I'm going to hear something, Eric, but it's a 6.
It's a 6. All right.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
don't hear a lot, but you get the sense that he's probably either just crazy or he's just thinking out loud.
Yeah, last time I tried to check on
You're
someone who was talking to
muttering.
themselves, they fucking vomited all over me. So I'm just gonna like take that in stride. And...
Thank you for bringing that back. All right.
I didn't learn anything from that.
Called
experience.
continuity, Eric. I am not about to check on this rambling old fuck.
All right. So you go in
Every single day at work when someone comes in at 2 a.m. and is talking to themselves. I'm like,
Mm,
Me
Nah.
and Short North all the time.
um,
Sorry
so
for
you go in.
sorry for
and-
breaking the role play, Eric. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. At any rate, you walk in, talk to the lawmaster. She basically, I'm not gonna role play this whole scene of you getting your payment because there's no point. She basically says, "Good job, thanks for the help," and hands you each 75 gold.
Good job.
This is much
That's
better
more
payment.
fucking like it. 7
Right?
silver.
Listen. Stu could have not paid you that 12 silver.
Listen, we could
He
have.
also could have ended up with his face in the dirt.
Did you say 775 or something? What did you say?
75 apiece.
Oh God, now I have to do math.
Nice.
Eric, I didn't want to do math. That's why I played D&D.
217.
Well, what, we have 17
If I'm wrong, I don't give a shit.
silver?
All right. So, as you exit the building, I'm assuming you're exiting. You're not just gonna hang around staring at this old lady.
I mean, unless she has other stuff for us to
I'm
do.
gonna stare at her for a minute because I can't remember where my gold is.
I'm gonna stare at her for a minute.
1 minute, I'm gonna look at her, just eyes wide open, staring at her, and then smile and walk away.
Where's my gold?
All right. I don't know what's going on right now, but my dog just had a spaz attack. All right. So, did you find your gold?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's in your equipment.
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be under manage currency.
No. Currency! I found it.
There you go.
And
I
money.
don't think my currency is correct anymore, but
It doesn't
It's
really
fine.
matter. I have a lot of money, and we're
Eh,
fine.
because hey, does anybody John, do you remember what your change was for the room?
It was like 3 gold.
No, it wasn't. But okay, never mind.
Yeah, it
Don't
was
worry
because
about
it was like
3 gold because it was 8 for.
Was it really? Okay,
Yeah.
don't
it
worry about
was.
it. I think
thought
I
it was
can't
7 for
remember
the
if I
whole
added
thing, and
it or
then
not.
I paid a platinum piece, not a platinum. Yeah,
Right.
platinum piece.
So, as you exit, as the world stops while Bryony tries to find her coin purse,
How many
Um,
silver did we get from that one dude?
7.
you got
We got 4 each.
so yeah,
Thank
We
you.
got 4.
Yeah.
little shit sack.
High roller.
All right. So as you exit, the this old man in tattered clothes that you saw earlier walks up to you and asks if he can offer you some advice.
No.
My parents
Talk
told me
less.
to never
Sorry,
talk
I've been
to
watching Hamilton too
strangers.
much.
That sounds.
He basically says, well, you know, I've been known to give pretty good advice. You know, it is my kind of my domain around here. And then you see something like wiggling out of his shirt.
He's
Can
Can I
got
do a perception check on what the hell is wiggling in his shirt?
You can,
Can we all?
absolutely can. I don't
15.
care how many of you throw it.
19.
Okay.
Hold on. Elise, remember how to play the game. Sorry, Bryony. Remember how to play.
Oof.
Did Eric or just say she rolled a 4?
24.
One.
Oh, big
I was like, I
difference.
didn't
A
know it
little
was
bit more than
possible.
that.
I, on the other hand, rolled a 4.
Ah, yes. Okay. So you all see this very cleanly. It is a small golden hummingbird.
Pretty.
I look at it and I go, "Hey, bud, what is that?"
He says,
What
"Oh,
you got
this-
there?
this guy."
Yeah, that.
He basically like lifts him out onto his hand, and he says, "Oh, this is just one of my pets." And he goes, "Actually," and he snaps his fingers, and 2 more come out from behind him and kind of circle his head.
Are these like
Yes, they're normal
animals that
hummingbirds.
are put into metal hummingbirds, or are they like?
They're not metal; they're just gold colored.
Oh, so they're just gold colored actual.
Yeah,
hummingbirds.
they have gold feathers. They're actually they're quite beautiful.
So they're actual birds.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought they were like.
they're not. You're not meeting another inventor.
Okay, I thought it was another
Briny
tinker,
is
and I was like,
visibly excited, like when somebody runs into a dog like in the street and they like really want to pet it but don't want to talk to the owner. That is what Briny is doing.
I look at these birds and I say to them using speech of beast and leaf, I go, "Hello there, friend. Why don't you come over here?" And I hold my finger out for them to like land on.
So, and it actually lands on your shoulder.
Oh! That's the exact sound he makes.
But he the old man says, well, I just learned that when people get into this adventuring business, they don't tend to spend their gold very wisely or make very wise moral decisions, and that makes me a little upset.
Are you trying to sell birds? I asked, petting the bird on the head.
Because I will buy one.
He says, no, these birds are how do they bound to me?
Can I roll insight on whether or not this is a good thing
Yeah, sure.
to Traven, a good thing to Traven. So like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm rolling like garbage today. That's a 6 insight. I rolled 2.
You don't get any bad vibes from this guy. Like, he seems like a genuinely good person.
I'm gonna roll with it. So bound to you. Like, are these some sort of like just your buds, or like what's the deal? And I'm still petting him because he's my favorite little buddy.
He says, well, you could say that they're my friends. You could also say that I sought them out over a very long time and vetted them very closely. And he says, but I rambled too much. Have a good day, and starts walking away.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm gonna follow after
Does
him. Go.
the bird go with?
Yes,
Is the bird still on my shoulder?
The bird goes with him.
Oh.
Damn it!
You get the
Briny
sense
is
that birds
like
won't stray very far.
distraught. Briny had not
Okay.
gotten the courage up to
I
ask
would
if she
like
could pet the
to
bird. She's now very upset.
follow after him and go, "Hey, bud, what were you going to say though? You said
He says, if you haven't noticed, then you don't read enough.
I'd like to cast Speak with Animals and say straight up to his bird, what the heck does he mean right there? But it comes across to everyone else as chirp 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 chirp.
You see one of the birds turns around and says, well, and that's it. That's all he said.
I say, you are the least informational bird I have ever spoken to. And I say that in bird, so it's tweet, 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 tweet.
Sorry,
Would I have read about this in my book that I bought at the beginning?
in your book about dragons? Well, actually, you might have. Make me a straight intelligence roll. Sure, let's go with that.
Intelligence. Oh my god. Hold on, sorry, I missed.
Oh my god.
That was a nat 20 work
My
for
God.
you.
A nat 20, that works perfectly. So you, from what you read and what you learned from your university position, even though this isn't alchemical or medicinal in nature, you still kind of have read some things about this. This sounds really familiar, but you can't quite place a finger on what exactly it is, but it sounds a whole lot like a legend that you read a long time ago about one god or another who travels with hummingbirds, but you're pretty sure that's a coincidence because they don't exist.
Gods don't exist or hummingbirds don't exist.
Yes.
Oh my god, did we just meet a god?
To be fair, I didn't try to fight him.
Right?
I want to
Mr.
pet the
Murder Hobo.
hummingbird.
Do I?
So, Igor, that's what you know.
Is he gone now? Like, is he just
He's
gone?
he's working on it. You know, he's
I share that with the party.
okay. So now you all know that. Hey, this is really coincidental.
I go, hey, bud, just curious. Are you a god?
Can you outright ask a god if they're a god?
It's like a cop. They have to tell you.
We'll find out.
It's entrapment if they don't.
The cop.
You a god?
He looks at you, he looks at you and says, "Well, that depends on what you mean, I suppose."
I look at the party and I go, anytime anyone says something like that, that's a yes. That's like saying, I'm not rich, my parents are rich. Like, that's...
Bryony looks like she's about to explode and goes, "May I please pet your hummingbird?"
He says, "Yes," and then one of them flies over and just like kind of sits in front of you, and he looks at the others and he says, "That you could say in one way or another," and he points to his shadow that's cast on the building next to him, and his shadow isn't a human.
What is it?
Well,
Giant-ass bird.
Dragon.
Funny enough, it is a long-necked creature with horns and wings.
It's a brontosaurus with wings.
And he says, "Yeah, I'm a few shades darker than I normally am, but you know."
I would like to use
Oh no.
primeval awareness, which is a new level thing, where
Okay.
if I use for 1 minute per spell slot I cast it at, I can sense aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, and fiends within a mile or 6 miles in my favorite
Yeah.
terrain.
Absolutely. So you cast that, and you get 5 pings, all very close to you. 3
Like-
of them coming from those hummingbirds that you touched earlier.
But there's only 3 hummingbirds and 1 dude.
So there's something else around.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fun.
I mean, technically, Bryony's a celestial. Water Ganassis are
Oh, you're right.
yeah. So
I look over at Bryony and I'm like, you're messing up the radar, bud. And then I go back.
but yeah, 3
Bryony has no clue what I'm casting and has no clue what that meant. But like, I'm just like,
you get a
Bryony's
very,
obsessed
very-
with the hummingbird and couldn't give 2 shits about you right now.
you get a very, very, very strong ping from this man. It's almost as if you're getting 2 hits at once.
What exactly does he look like? Can I
What
see any? Can I see any like features about him?
Well, you see that he is old. He looks like he doesn't venture into the city a whole lot. He looks very out of place here. He looks like he would be more in place as like a hermit in a forest or a cave. His clothes are, tattered. They're dirty. He's very clean shaven though, and he's let's see. You're how tall? You're
7'4", I think.
You're 7'4". He's 3 feet shorter than you. Mostly because he's hunched. He's hunched over, and he's not a very strong, imposing figure.
So we're on the same level, he and I.
Just about, yeah.
What race does he appear to be?
He appears to be human.
Okay.
He appears to be human, yeah. You obviously don't have a lot of like insight into the different kinds of human, but human.
Because none
It's
of us
fine.
are human.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, not a
Oh,
single one of you is human, you turds.
I continue to express no interest in him.
Okay. And he
I
said,
look at him, my eyes widen, and I go, "Can we help you at all?"
he says, "You can help me by just being good." And his hummingbirds are gone.
Aww.
So, guys, that was a cool hummingbird.
It was enjoyable.
I like hummingbirds.
Oh, I
He
bet you
seemed
do.
very nice.
I
Okay.
just look off into the distance, thinking about hummingbirds.
So, now that you're left in the middle of the road, you're actually on a new part of the road that only Aragorn and the party has been down. So I'm going to describe it real quick. So up ahead, you see an open up, an area that is rounded up, like it's a circle. There's a bunch of shop fronts in front. There's alleys. You're down past where the Platinum Cup is, so you're probably about 5-6 blocks away. And they all these buildings look almost exactly the same, but the shops have signs on them, but you'd have to get closer to read them.
I'm gonna go look at some shop signs, bud.
The rest of you follow suit.
I do, but I want to ask around armorers and weaponsmiths.
Okay. And remember, you did get that tip from Percy.
Yes.
Okay.
Because from what I understand, he's sort of a traveling being, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking for. His name was Iramaeus, right? That was the guy we had to give
Yeah,
back.
you're looking
to.
for Iramaeus.
So I'm gonna look at the shop signs and try to see if I can see anything that looks like it would obviously be a place where a dude buying a fancy gun would.
Okay. So Dredger, are you asking for the name that you got from Percy, or are you just asking for weaponsmiths?
Well, I'm going to those specific people to ask about the name.
Okay. You know what? Let me. Okay. So pretty quickly you find someone who tells you, "Oh yeah, Hephrem, that's that guy that runs the booth down in the festival. He's where is he? He's like 4th booth on the left, or is it 7th booth on the right? You'll find it. There's a lot of smoke coming out of his tent."
Much obliged.
He says, "You're welcome." Traven.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Was someone just speaking?
Yeah, I was gonna go back to the party and just kind of say,
I have very important matters to attend to. I will leave the gun to you 3. I will have to take care of this on my own.
Okay.
and I start heading towards the festival.
So he says that unless anyone specifically wants to go with him, we'll.
Dredger, are you sure you don't need anybody else?
I look at him with like hints of that same fear that I felt when I woke up on the last day of camp, and I just kind of nod gravely.
Okay, bud. Be safe, okay?
You as well.
So
I
Traven,
tip my hat.
looking at what's it called? Signs, you find a couple signs. You see one that looks like this lizard with wings, and it's got fire coming out of its mouth. You find another one that is an open book with a cup in front of it with some steam coming out. And you see yeah, that's all you see right now. The others appear to be closed up for some reason or another. You reckon probably they're just not back from lunch yet.
Okay. Can I go in the one with the lizard with wings, as you described it?
Of course. Does everyone go to the same one?
Bryony's along for the ride at this point.
Sure.
Okay. So you walk in, and the door swings open, and you see it just like there are shelves upon shelves of various items and potions, and paper and ink in places. And out from behind this this side room steps a dragonborn that kind of like the one that you saw your first night in town, but he's pure white. He's about 6'8", very broad-shouldered, and wears a very fine blue tunic with this really bizarre cape with a clasp that looks like two dragon wing talons at the front. And he says, "Ah, yes, welcome to the Dragon's Fire Magic Shop. What can I do for you?"
Are you a place that takes these? And I hold up the coupon for a free health potion we got from Soup.
He says, "Well, probably. Depends on what it says."
It's here, and I just hand him it. I'm like, I don't know how to explain that I got a coupon.
Holds it, and he pulls out these comically small glasses, and he puts them on the end of his snout, and he says, "Ah, yes."
I'm visualizing this so well. I'm so happy.
And he
Thank you.
he goes behind the counter and picks up a very, very small, it's about 3-4 inches tall, and it's you recognize by the classic red liquid on the inside is a potion of healing.
Just a regular potion of healing.
Just a regular potion of healing. And he says, "I don't know where you would have gotten that, but I wrote it, so."
I wrote it. Hunt it.
I got it from the mayor of this small town that had a bunch of problems. His name is currently escaping my memory.
He says, "Well, could that be Stu Hilfar? You know, mayor of the town of Hilfar?"
Too far.
Yeah, it was Soup. I say.
He
That
says,
was-
he says, "I'm glad that more people are catching on to that name."
Thank you.
And he says, "Well, yeah, this is I run a magic shop, so."
What do I see around the magic shop? Do I need to
What
roll a
do you see
perception
around
or
the
something?
No, you don't have to. I mean, it's not hidden.
Okay.
So you see a couple pieces of armor, one very heavy looking breastplate that is full plate, and it's shimmering a little bit. It's emblazoned with jewels across the collar. You see two gauntlets, like big beefy gauntlets they're brass colored, and they just look really, really beefy. You see a cloak, just a normal cloak, but it's really hard to like get a good angle on it. It looks like it's hidden somehow, but you don't really understand how. And then you see your basic, inscribing pen, inscribing paper and ink. You see some health potions. You see what looks to be a fine selection of incense. And
Would he perhaps have the 50 gold pieces worth of herbs that I would need for a certain spell later?
You could certainly ask, because he you get the feeling that he sells just about everything, but you'd have to be very specific.
I go forward to the guy and I go, "Do you sell ranger spell components?"
He says, "Well, if by that you mean like things that help you like commune with nature or the like." This dog. I carry some. It depends. Like, what kind of component are you looking for? Are we thinking like a busted twig? Like, I don't really know a lot about you folk.
I pull out 50 gold pieces and I smack it on the counter, but like politely, not like aggressively. And I'm like, "I need stuff that would allow me to bind an animal companion."
He says, "Well, I could probably do that." And he comes out, he goes back, and you hear rummaging around, and he goes, "No, not quite. And he looks around and he goes, there it is. And he comes out with these very fine leaves, like they're super thin and they're covered in thistles on the end, but they're very vibrant green and they're bound together by what looks to be just a twig.
Interesting. Like wrapped around it?
Yeah, like wrapped around it like a piece of string, but it's a twig.
All right, I'll put that in my backpack,
Okay.
push the gold towards him, and go, thank you for the business today.
You now have that spell component.
Yay.
So, beyond that, he says, you guys were down in Hillfar. Did you happen to talk to a Percival Bloodtrap?
I go, yeah. He actually sent us back here to deliver something.
He says, and it is...
Wait. What's this dude's name?
We haven't asked.
You asked him?
Yes.
Okay, he says, well, I'm Aeromaix.
Wow, that was convenient.
I founded the shop, and I just got a commission for a pistol that I asked Percy to build for me. Is that what you were assigned to deliver?
Who did Dredger give the gun to? I don't remember.
I didn't have the gun.
Who had the gun? Did I have the gun?
Aragorn had the gun.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember correctly.
I'm like, who had the
I was like,
gun?
Brian,
I was like,
I didn't have
I was
the
like-
gun.
oh no, none of us have the gun.
Well, now that we have instituted your name and that you are personally the person we are supposed to talk to, I pull out the gun to Aromaix.
Okay, he takes it in his massive hands. This thing looks like a toy. And he says, master craftsmanship, as always, Percival. And he puts it on the counter and he reaches down and he grabs a pouch and he says, I only expected him to send one person, so there's only one purse, but it's about 150 gold, give or take.
Goodness.
Is that divided by 4?
Rich.
And then we're gonna jump back to Dredger real quick. So Dredger, you find good old Heffram pretty quick. I mean, it's the only booth with smoke actively coming out the sides of it.
Wonderful.
And he's hammering away with just this like really big hammer, nice and square. And he turns and he sees you and he goes, "Oh, just 1 second." And he quenches the blade he's working on and he goes, how could I help you?
You are Heffrim Forgefire, correct?
The one and only, buddy.
I reach back, I grab my axe, and I present it to him.
What can you tell me about this weapon?
He says, well, it looks like a standard run-of-the-mill great axe. It looks like it's made of some kind of iron steel mix. Someone did a really shoddy job of fixing some of that inlay. But it is a weapon after all.
Can you improve it in any way? I was
says-
told you were the man to talk to.
He crosses his arms and he says, well, I can probably improve anything. I'd have to take a closer look at it and it might take me a bit, but I'd say that I could probably make this cut a little better using some old-fashioned dwarven techniques.
How long is a bit?
He says, I'd reckon it'd take me about a day and a half and somewhere in the ballpark of 350 gold pieces.
I take a deep, deep inhale.
Are you sure there's nothing else you can tell me about this weapon? Who it may have belonged to?
He says, well, I ain't magical or anything, but I can give it a sure go. And he picks it up with both hands and he looks at it and he turns it this way to look down the stick that it's attached to, and he he looks at the bottom and he goes, huh, I don't recognize these initials, but that's normally where the person that owns it go. This just has an A on it. So if you know anyone without a last name whose name starts with A, he says, actually, wait 1 second. And he dips the handle of the edge of the handle of the axe into the fire and gets it red hot. And what shows, sorry, I didn't have that note on top. It is a rune that it looks like that.
Oh god.
I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, send me a picture because the background's like
I know.
gamma time.
All right.
It's an N.
It looked like an N.
That's
It did
basically.
look like an N.
There you go. That's it.
It just looks like an N. From what I could see.
So wait, he dipped what? He dipped the pommel in the forge and
He
he showed
dipped
it to
the
me.
edge of the blade into the forge and got it really hot and then pulled it out. And the blade doesn't look warped. It looks perfect. But that rune is red hot on the side of the blade. And it starts to fade away and disappear.
I appreciate your time.
It's
I
an N.
unfortunately do not have the funds required to make your services applicable to me. I will take this axe elsewhere.
He says, well, you know what? I could offer you a discount, but you got to do something for me.
Perhaps.
He says, I need you to go get me. It's hard to explain. It's a whetstone, but it's a special whetstone. It's perfectly spherical, and it has a golden ring around it. I'm getting it from this mage here in town. He doesn't work at a magic shop, though. I don't remember his name.
Would it be in a shop in the town?
Yeah, he lives here. I just struck this deal up with him. He made me pay like 500 gold a couple days ago for it.
Well, it just so happens that I happen to be going back to the shop square to meet up with my compatriots. I may perhaps be able to make this delivery for you.
He says, well, if you do manage to bring it back, I'd imagine I could probably drop about 100 gold off the price, just as a sign of good favor.
I can make that happen.
And he spits in his hand and puts it out for a handshake.
Just a fucking massive.
And he goes, man, you'd make a good dwarf. I think you were born into the wrong skin, brother.
I twitch a little bit.
I agree.
He says, all right, I'll see you later. I got to get back to smithing this stupid blade.
And I head back towards the shops.
All right. All right. And for the sake of brevity, we'll say that you're all back together. So what do you do next? Now that you're back together standing in the shop square.
How did the delivery of the weapon go?
Well, we got this, I say, and I hold up the bag full of money.
What's my cut?
So everybody can have 37 and 2 people get 38. I say.
I'll take a 37. Give my 38 to Dredger.
Aww.
But I was going to give my 38 to Dredger.
Well,
I would love
I
to
wasn't
have
making
36 gold, 76 gold.
Lovely.
No. I was meaning you could have my extra. That's all I meant there.
I appreciate your gratitude. I will take one of your 38s. It matters little to me.
All right. So while you figure that out, it's now. I said it was 2:00 when you got there. It's probably about 3:30, 4:00 now.
I start looking around in magic shops. Oh, actually, no. No. Would they have seen it?
Would who have seen what?
The whetstone. I don't know.
Would the party have seen the whetstone in the Dragon's Fire shop?
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
You can sure go look.
Well, I was going to ask them.
I
Like,
kind of got the vibe
Oh,
that he
yeah.
was hinting that it wasn't.
yeah, I was going to
there.
ask them. I was like,
Did you see this stone, a circular stone with a gold band around it in the shop that you visited?
Are you asking God to bail you out? The answer is no.
Yeah.
I was about to say the answer was no, I think.
The answer was no.
I'll wait for God to say it.
No.
The heavens open up. That guy's face comes out of a cloud.
No!
No.
And then it closes back up. That was pretty weird, says a villager off to your right.
I look over at the villager and I'm like, yeah, that was weird.
So from what you saw, there's the other shop that you saw with the book and the tea, or whatever you think it is. It's like a teacup or
drink
whatever.
of some kind.
Yeah,
Warm
drink
drink.
on their wooden thing. And you also see another one that looks like it's just like a grocery store kind of thing. And you see this is the only sign that has words on it. It says Grout's medicinal herbs.
I want to go in there.
You want to go into Grout's medicinal?
We're going to get some herbs, baby.
Use some herbs.
I hate y'all.
I go into the Dragonfire anyway.
Okay. You see Aramaics. Well, you don't know he's Aramaics, but you see this big white dragonborn. He's
little
looking,
tiny glasses.
yeah, with little tiny glasses. He's looking at this ledger and he's writing something down with this big, overly pretentious looking quill. And he looks up and he says, "Hi." That's the wrong voice. He says, "Hi."
I am here to pick up an item ordered by Hefrim Forgefire in the festival.
He
He
says,
did not give me the specifics of where it was, so I thought I would ask around.
Hefrim. Well, God damn it, I haven't done any business with Hefrim. Are you sure he said it was here?
He said it was at a magic shop.
Said, that's weird. I don't carry anything that this Hefrim. I'm assuming he's a blacksmith, judging by his last name. He's probably a dwarf too.
I do not appreciate your subtle racism, but you are.
He says, it's, first of all, it's not racism. Secondly, I happen to be a very good friend of the dwarves.
Some of my best friends are dwarves.
Yeah, so it's not racist. God.
He says it just so happens that they like me to come up there and use some of my innate special abilities to help quench their large orders of steel.
I have nothing but respect for that. Perhaps if I describe the item in question, you could point me in the correct direction.
He says, I could probably try.
The item he is looking for is a whetstone, but it is entirely spherical and wrapped with a gold band.
He says, Did he say it did anything special?
He just said it was a special whetstone.
He says, well, a special whetstone. That sounds like this guy, this red-haired guy, little short dude. He came in and he asked for some ingredients to enchant something for making weapons. Yeah, and he spent like 500 gold pieces doing it. I think he owns a tavern, is what he said.
Did he say what it was called?
He says, something cup. It's been a minute. He came in like 3-4 days ago. He also didn't look like a magic user. It was pretty weird.
That was the steam coming out of my nose.
Yeah.
I believe I know the correct direction. I have one final question to ask of you.
Shoot, I don't close until 8.
I pull my axe out and I kind of set it upright on the ground with the blade facing broadside towards him.
Could you breathe fire on the edge of this axe and tell me about what you see?
He says, does it have to be fire?
To my understanding, yes.
He says, well, that's going to be a problem because, and he turns away from you and lets loose this cone of ice into the back room. And he says, I'm a white dragonborn.
This proves to be a difficulty.
He says, if you want, I've got a couple techniques I can do to, I can try to identify what it is.
I would be grateful.
He says, all right, if I could just get like 10 silver pieces from you, I can do it.
I reach around, I shuffle around in my pocket, I like pull out like a gum wrapper, a used napkin, a paper clip, and then I put it on the.
All right. He takes this bit of chalk that he has and he says, come around to the side, maybe you can learn something about spellcasting if you want. And he
walk
draws
over to him.
this big circle on the ground, and about 10 minutes later he has this ritual circle, and he mutters some arcane words and waves his hand across and then falls flat on his ass. And he says, okay, that's never happened before.
I offer my hand out to him.
Are you all right?
He says, yeah, I'm all right. It's just I've never had an item fight back when I try to identify it. Where'd you get this?
I got it off a corpse in a cave.
He says,
That sounds great. Sorry.
well, I would say either someone is looking for this or it belonged to somebody you do not want to mess with. I don't know how that corpse got it, but I've never been blocked from identifying an object before. And he says, hand me something else. Hand me something that you didn't get out of that cave.
I'll hand him my crossbow.
Are we all there?
Are you all there?
Oh, is it just Dredger there?
I thought it was just Dredger.
But you could have come in. You didn't say.
We might have come in by now. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Fine, man, he can have my crossbow.
Okay, and he takes the crossbow, puts it on the ground, and he does the same ritual, big circle, arcane words, and he goes, no, I definitely didn't do anything wrong. That thing is cursed or something. I don't know. I need it out of my shop.
I lean over to Dredger and I go, I got the herbs, bud. And I slip him a brown paper bag.
Yeah, you went in and It was legitimate medicinal things, but after a little bit of prodding, he did hand you something that
Herb.
Halfling weed.
less medicinal.
Fantasy gone. Use for that dank holy kush.
The guy that you talked to,
Communing with nature, man.
the Grout, the guy that you talked to, small half-orc man, he goes, "Yeah, I think I got something for you." And he shovels some stuff in from the back room, and he says, "This is what you know what? I don't rightly know where it comes from, but it's really cool, and it makes you see things."
I go, I love you so much, bud. And I drop whatever much money he asks for. However much money he asks
It
for.
was only like 5.
Oh no, he's a 20 a G kid.
It was like 5 silver.
Traven is used to growing his own, my friend.
Anyway, now that we're back in the future, or
Yeah, we're back in real time.
back in real time, I kind of nod my head, I sigh, and I say, I appreciate the help and the point in the right direction. I apologize for any malevolent forces exerted upon you. That was not my intention.
He says, if I could offer some extra advice. First of all, why'd you want me to breathe fire on the blade?
There's a rune that appears when the blade is hot.
Describe it.
It was...
And I put my finger on the counter, and I trace that shape in like a little circle.
It kind of looked like that.
He says, that's not possible. It wouldn't have any way to get here.
How do you figure?
That's... How much do you know about planar magic?
Gonna roll an Arcana check,
Yeah.
and it was a 1.
Okay.
That fits.
I look back kind of into my brain. I remember the guy disappearing, but I don't associate it with whatever this man just said. I just kind of say to him, not much.
He says, well, let me give you a really quick encounter. Go lock that door. All right. And he says, sorry, you're getting me back in my deep notes.
Traven touches his sword handles the second that the door gets locked, and he said the word encounter.
He says, well, I only know this because of my time in study. I never had to study magic, but I like to read. About 2,000 years ago, up until the rift, the gods were in the world with us all the time, and we had to have a way to identify where they go. So we came up with these sets of runes. That one, and it's impossible unless someone's been breaking the law majorly or something bad's about to happen. That's the symbol for the 9 hells.
I drop the axe immediately.
He says,
would you like to buy this axe?
No!
he said, where, don't lie to me. Where did you get this?
Me and my compatriots were sent on a job in Hilfar. That job led us into a cave of gnolls and goblins. We dispatched of the situation, and this axe was in the Packmaster's cave. I took it because I like weapons of that disposition.
Obviously. He says,
Can I May I roll insight to see if if the extra ding that I couldn't account for was the axe?
Yeah, you can.
I thought that I was the extra ding you could.
No, there were still one. There was still one
There were 5, but you can roll again.
because there were 5, which is I guess that is all of them.
The 3 hummingbirds, the dude, and
Briny. That's 5.
Me.
Never mind. I did math wrong in my head, but I'll still roll anyway.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine.
Is it insight? Is that what I said?
It'll be insight.
23.
I
recognize I'm bad at math.
Yeah. It's you go. No, wait, never mind. And he says, that's not good.
One final inquiry, and you may choose to withhold this information if you are uncomfortable with divulging
He looks
it.
physically, visibly shaken right now. Like, this is a big dude.
I kip the axe up back into my hand, and I show him the pommel.
Who?
Says A. Axe from the 9 hells with A on the pommel. He says, well, I never thought that I'd have to say this name, but since you brought this, I guess anything's possible. Could that be Asmodeus's axe?
I don't know.
Do I know this name? Because
Do our
that's
clerics know
a
this
pretty
name? Do any
big
of us know
lore
that?
name drop.
Roll me some
Any of us?
history, y'all.
History? Bro, that's a hot fucking probably not good enough.
That's a hot straight 16. No addition.
Baby?
20,
Okay, nat or dirty?
30, 20.
Okay,
14.
14. I can't say you've never heard that name before. You may have heard that name before, but you don't know what it means. And generally when you may have heard it is a swear, like a curse, or it's it's said in hushed tones on the edges of taverns.
Is that all of us?
Yeah, that's all of you.
Would
You
my
and
parents
my
have told me
dirty
about it?
Even
at
a
all?
20?
Even a 20.
Stink.
Dredger, you asked if your parents would have told you about it?
Because they did teach me about the old gods, the betrayer gods.
Yeah, correct. This you think digging back into the recesses of your mind, you think maybe, but the meaning is not surfacing. It's like it's blocked by something, either repression or something else.
Would our clerics do like a religion check or anything, since they actively interact with gods and hells and
Oh, absolutely not.
They would have to. I would say that, and I'm not trying to metagame too much for you. If the clerics were to ask their gods and were to get a response, maybe.
How do we ask our gods?
How do you ask any god?
Channel divinity.
You pray, you use certain abilities that have been cast upon you and hope they for some reason deem it necessary to talk.
What abilities have been cast upon us?
Technically all of your spells are holy because they're from your god, but
They are divine magic, yes.
you would know
Guidance.
low enough level cleric spells technically aren't according to the PHP. Just a
rules lawyer me in my own world.
Technically, none of the spells are in a subclass of holy. It's just where they derive their magic from.
yeah.
All right.
We're getting real deep. Sorry.
But
It's real deep in it. I look over at this dragonborn man and I nod my head and I put the axe back on my back and I turn to the door, I unlock it, I'm looking to leave. I turn back over my right shoulder and I look at him and I say,
I feel I was meant to have this axe. Through some way or another, it was meant for me. I will go seek out this whetstone man you have pointed me to. I appreciate all of your help, and I will not forget this service you have done for me.
He says, yeah, you got to agree to tell nobody what I told you. That magic is illegal, has been for a long time.
I take my hat off and I just kind of look at him and I say,
On my honor, as a fighter and as a man, you have my word.
Good to hear it. And he says, now, leave my shop. I got to close early.
I understand.
and I walk out.
All right. So now most of the shops around are closed-ish or getting ready to.
I turn to everybody and I say, well, how long were they in there with me? Would they have known about the whetstone at all?
Probably not. You mentioned it pretty early in the conversation, but you did mention it as you were leaving. So they are confused as to why, probably confused as to why you mentioned the whetstone.
I look at Dredger and I pull the glaive off my back that I still have, and I go, "Hey, bud, do you think it'd be safer if you used this instead?"
I aggressively kind of almost shake my head and I say,
perhaps we will speak of this later in a bit more of a private setting. But what I said in the shop stands. I believe this axe was meant for me in some way.
Okay, bud. And I smack the glaive back onto my backpack.
Interestingly enough, as he holds the glaive out, remind me, who put that lead box in their pack from a couple sessions ago?
The one from the first session?
It would have been 2-3 sessions ago now. The cart that you looted?
I didn't cart. It would have been either me or Briny. I think it might have been Briny.
I think it was me.
Well, Briny, you know that sound when you get two pieces of metal vibrating together very fast?
What? No?
Like
Sure?
that buzzing? All right.
Yes.
Like a magnet?
Kind of, yeah. You hear that sound coming from your backpack.
I drop that shit like it's hot and immediately start rifling through it.
Well, you pull out this ornate lead box that you pulled out with the really cool etching and whatever, and those glyphs. And it's not doing anything, but you get the feeling that the contents of the box is much heavier than you remember, and it is vibrating. Did I say this was going to be a light episode? That was a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said beach episode.
I had a demon axe, so...
To be fair,
Oh,
To be fair, there was a filler thing that I had planned with you, and apparently that might not be happening because we're getting real deep real fast.
No. We'll get there.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right. So you got a vibrating box. That was.
can I open the box yet?
Did you open the box? No, you haven't opened the box.
No, can I open the box?
Can you? Oh, you can sure try.
I don't think.
Way to hold your hand close, man. That's an excellent poker face you've got.
No, I'm just excited to see how this goes.
Do I catch on that the glaive might have caused this? Do I think that that's what happened?
I mean, it happened as soon as you held it close to Briny.
I take the glaive and I want to poke the box with it.
All right.
This is when John had to roll a new character, guys.
You poke it and it goes tink.
That's it.
That's it.
Box.
I mean, it moved a little.
Can I look for any identifying symbols on the box?
Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
I don't know what the fuck.
This
I'm
seems really
doing. That's a 10, folks.
Total?
Yep.
Okay. You don't find anything other than the glyphs that you found earlier. There's nothing identifying it. I mean, it's the same box.
I knock on the door to Iromaeus' shop and I go, "We got something else weird here."
He says through the door, "Not today." Says, "I'm sure you can find someone else who can look at it. I'm not doing it."
Does the vibrating change if I pick up the box and change directions, like move it around and
Like,
point it in different directions?
Are you shaking it, or are you just like pointing it?
No,
south?
I'm just
Like a
pointing it in
thousand
different
miles.
directions.
Okay,
It's a
okay,
compass.
all right. That's a very different image than what I got, because I expected you to just be like,
Let's just be dangerous. Shake the thing that's making weird noises.
chain.
Dredger is on the other side of like wherever this is. I am very far away.
All right.
Chillin'.
So Briny does this old thing, and it's not super discernible change if there's any. But when Traven puts it back on his backpack, it's like someone flipped a light switch.
Okay, I say get that fucker back out here right now.
Pull it back out. Back out.
Stop that
And
right
back.
now.
I want it to open.
You
Can we like compare the Traven's thing and the box and see if there's anything like similar about them?
All
The
the glaive had on it was the letters KN.
Hey God, is there anything else that we notice?
Hey,
You
guys.
notice now that you're closer to it and like actively fucking with it. You notice that the lead, which normally is not, it's just straight gray or black. It does have a blue tint, like a deep blue tint. It's like pearlescent. You know, the light hits it a different way. The blue moves.
Hey!
What?
We should go get a drink.
I like his idea. I just put it back and walk.
A random bystander goes, "Yes, I agree. Who's buying?"
Not you. You're not invited.
You are, bud.
Gorgeous gnome.
He goes, "I'm just joking. I'm 5 years sober," and turns around and walks away.
Aww.
I'm proud of your progress as a person.
He does
Good
a
for you,
Aw.
bud. You keep it going.
he does a heel click as he walks away.
Cute.
Bryony is holding this box, pissed as hell, and goes, "So we're not even going to try and figure out what's in the box? Nothing at all."
I like scurry right back up over and I bend over to her and I say,
I just found out I am in possession of a demon axe, and that thing looks like it is about to explode. I am not trifling with matters I do not understand anymore today.
Ooh, Dredger. Now you
You hear this?
poke that
I'm
box
whispering
with
to her.
your axe. I say,
I am whispering to her. I say nothing to anybody else.
this doesn't matter. I'm just saying this because I thought of it anyway. It doesn't matter if I heard what you said or not. Dredger, poke it with your axe.
I disagree.
Bryony feels kind of ashamed that she was so hell-bent on this box and like slips it back in her book bag or in her pack and like puts it on her back and grumbles away and walks after her.
I will explain to you later, small one. For now, we must visit Josh.
Palmer. Josh.
You broke, Eric.
I'm just imagining he says that and there's echoes. Josh. All
It's
right,
a spell Josh Palmer has cast so that to help with advertising for the bar. But anytime you say Josh, it just echoes.
No. So do you go to the Platinum Cup?
Absolutely.
All right.
Josh Palmer is my oldest friend.
All right. You walk in. Bar is moderately busy. There's probably about 15 people in here. Nothing too rowdy, honestly. You get the sense that the festival had something going on while you were gone that has everyone either very hungover or just very worn out.
I am just.
Oh no. Dredging machine broke.
I'm assuming he's going to say he's just booking it for either the bar or a seat.
I'm going to call him.
Good idea.
Bye-bye.
All right. Anyway, is there anything else any of you want to do specifically before Dredger says his thing?
Coffee.
You want to order a coffee again? Okay.
Hello.
I'll be back soon. It was just a clip. Hold up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Perhaps at least. I don't know.
All right. Well, we're gonna continue until you come.
Essentially, what I said was, I'm not making a beeline, but I'm walking like with a purpose towards the bar. Like I am going to sit down at the bar. Here, I'm back.
All right. So you're sitting at the bar. Easy enough to do. You see a couple normal people that you've seen before. You see a man with his hood pulled up. And
I'm not messing with men with
Josh
hoods put up.
Palmer walks up to you and goes, "Hello, my friend. Welcome back."
2 requests, my friend. 1, a drink. Perhaps something a little dry this time.
And I put like 5 silver on the table.
He says, I can do that. And he grabs a bottle, and it's whiskey. Just says whiskey. That's the only word it says on it. No branding, nothing.
Wow.
Sure, one of those.
Quality.
There's you. He says, shot or flagon?
Single, neat, with a little bit of water.
Of course. He makes it and presents it, and he says, as to your second.
This dragonborn man in the market pointed me to you because he, I think, assumes you have something that I am looking to deliver.
He says, well, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out considering there's only a handful of dragonborn in the world. So is that Iromaics that you talked to?
Maybe.
White scales.
Yes. That's the one. You might have a whetstone, but it is not a whetstone, it is a sphere.
He stops you and he goes, I got you. He said, did that dwarf say it was a whetstone?
He did.
That's upsetting. And he pulls out this box and he says, this is the transmuter stone he ordered a couple days ago.
Stupid.
That's upsetting.
I see inside the box.
Go ahead. It's not top secret.
What does top secret mean?
I'm making sure like this is what Forge Fire asked me to do. Like this
It looks the way that you imagine it. It looks very much like what he described.
Yeah.
It also looks like it could be used as a whetstone if you really tried.
Okay.
And I put it back in the box. I close the lid. I say, "Is this all bought and paid for? Because he sent me on this mission for him."
He says, yeah, it's all bought and paid for. I didn't make any profit on it, but, you know, I overestimated the discount I would get from Aramaics.
May I take this package off your hands to deliver it to Mr. Forgefire?
Yeah, absolutely. He actually has a room here.
He does.
Yeah.
Have you seen him pass through?
He says, yeah. And he looks over your shoulder and he goes, corner booth.
Lovely.
I take the box, knock it back, tip my
I
hat.
can back.
It was a pleasure.
He
And
says,
I turn and I walk over to the corner booth.
and Hephrem, he's got a flagon from the tavern, but he also is holding in his other hand what appears to be a flask, and he is pouring the flask into the flagon, and he says, "Hi, how's it going?"
It goes confusing, but that's neither here nor there.
I'll drink.
Believe it or not, my fiery bearded friend, the package you sought was right here in this bar.
And
He
I
says-
pull the package out and I put it on the table.
He says, "Yeah, that about figures. I just don't know how much he outsources his work."
I didn't either.
He says, "All right, well, you come to the booth tomorrow. I'll look at that axe again. Maybe give you some sharp."
I appreciate it.
And I turn and I go back to my buds.
Right?
I would like to walk up to the bar and go, whiskey, neat, on the rocks with a twist.
None of that made sense.
I know. I just said words that I knew on purpose.
Well, you said
Oh my
neat,
God.
and you said on the rocks. You
I
can
know.
only have one.
Those are contradictory.
I said it that way on purpose, Nick.
I don't believe.
No. You can only have one. Neat or no rocks. Or
I know.
rocks.
I
Cannot
know.
have meat on the rocks.
Is no rocks.
I'm
You
aware.
can have meat.
He looks at you and goes, "You know," he looks at you and says, "I got you." And he pulls out 2 cups. He pours one warm ass whiskey, and he pours one warm ass whiskey with a lemon on the side of the glass filled with pebbles.
I look at him and I go, this man gets me, guys. And I put 2 gold on the counter.
Can't figure out
He
if
says-
it's donut.
Yeah, I've been working on that donut monstrosity you thought of.
Yeah. Fucker.
'Cause, you know, bartending's hereditary, so
Hold on 1 second. Tatum,
Yes.
can you hold that water bottle next to your head? Okay. I just wanted to know if it was actually that big or it was a perspective thing.
Yeah, Eric and I both have.
Wait, are these the water bottles that you're supposed to drink from like all day?
Yeah. I do a
Hours on the side of them?
I do a half gallon each day. Like
I used to
a
do a gallon a day. Anyway,
interesting.
Holy shit, that's a lot of water.
I roll up to the boys, a little more chipper. I say,
Well, my task has been completed. Perhaps we can enjoy ourselves for the rest of the night.
At
I throw
about
back the whiskey with the pebbles.
I cringe
Sorry.
noticeably.
No. We're not gonna with the pebble. Do you mean the pebbles are also going down the old gullet?
How big are the pebbles?
The old gullet.
I would like to roll for how big the pebbles are.
Slurping glizzies,
Yeah.
baby.
See this percentile dice?
Oh man.
I'm gonna roll my own percentile dice just because I'm curious.
Can you make me a? You know what? No, they're normal sized pebbles. They're pebble sized.
This is what I. It'll be great. I'll be so happy. Honestly, it'll be fine.
So you do put the rocks down your gullet.
No, I was
imagine
meaning
them
to catch
be
them in my mouth.
like boba bubble
Okay.
size.
I wanted to catch them in my mouth and then do a Robin Hood Disney movie effect where like I smile and they're my teeth.
Ew.
Roll performance.
7.
7.
Wow.
Ooh.
Make him a fool of himself.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, no. You crack a tooth and take 3 points of damage.
Honestly, fine.
Ouch.
Fine.
Ooh, DM machine is pissed at Traven.
It's not pissed. Trust me. I could have made him make a Constitution saving throw against choking.
Right.
Now, he could have killed me in multiple ways that with what I just did. It's fine.
I could have killed you multiple ways on the cart ride down.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
All right.
He can be a vengeful god if he wants.
Anyway, speaking of which,
Oh boy.
Speaking of vengeful gods, he looks at notes.
vengeful gods. Yeah, that'll work.
I don't like that.
Cool.
God.
All right. Awesome. We'll see how that goes. All right.
I drink the other whiskey to try to help my tooth hurting, but the alcohol makes the tooth that's cracked sting, and I'll take another point of damage just because.
You
Not
can't-
how you describe any kind of pain in a tooth.
The
Sting
DM's guide is
not
like
it.
exploding right now. It's just on fire.
All right. So, have you guys acquired a table or booth?
Thought we were at the bar.
Are you all at the bar? I know that.
I
was
was,
just
and
standing
then
at the
I'm
bar.
not, and now I currently am wherever you guys were.
That's why I
Let's
asked.
grab a table.
Sure.
Table?
Table.
Okay.
Table.
Find one. Oh God. You find one pretty easily. Next to some men. In a, well, I say men. They're of different races, but they're all male. And you they all have this dark blue short-sleeved tunics on. And
What's
they're
their-
being very loud.
What's their vibe?
Their vibe,
Vibe check them.
their
I'd
vibe
like the
is
vibe check.
they're like they act kind of like frat boys.
Every insight check in the campaign will now be referred to
To as a vibe
check.
check.
Vibe check.
Can I roll a vibe check on that?
Go ahead and roll a vibe check.
I have
You know what?
proficiency in vibing.
As
You
do
are-
I.
Wait, in what? In insight or
In
in?
vibing.
So
Inside is vibe now.
vibe checks are now different checks. Add your proficiency bonus.
We are all
Proficiency.
proficient in vibing.
This is a 16 vibe check.
This is a 16 vibe.
19 vibe
You
check.
get the vibe that these people, while they're acting like children, they are professionals and do something important.
Yeah, they're frat boys, all right.
What is something important? What qualifies? Do we know?
Hell, can you make me? Actually, no. This was just today that you
Yeah,
saw.
aren't those blue robes a little familiar?
Those blue. They're not robes. It's like
Sure.
Tunics.
They're like short sleeve t-shirts.
Yes, they are. That blue is the same color as the soldiers you saw outside standing behind Alamar.
Oh, so much more important than I was expecting. Cool.
Cool. All right. These are members of the Conclave's private military.
What is the conclave? That might be being dumb.
I'm asking this to the party. What is the complexion of the table after realizing this information?
Like, what is our complexion?
Yeah, like how are you all like feeling?
Well, I mean, you got a hell axe, so I don't know how much we should say near them.
Okay, so you look like
God,
perturbed,
hell.
kind of hesitant,
I'm a little on edge, we'll say.
on edge.
I'm
How
looking
about-
over at them with the same energy that a 30-year-old, like, single guy gives a crying kid at a restaurant. You know, like the like,
Angry
oh
one?
my god, stop it.
The
like-
angry one or the PTSD look? Which one?
The anger one. Sorry,
Okay.
not the fear, desperation look that someone's
All right.
like, just like a.
So, Dredger, you look over and see a generally perturbed party.
I grab Traven by the scruff of his neck and I just pull him close to me. I look at him very, very deeply and I say,
Do not get into a fight you cannot finish.
And you see one of them, very wobbly, stands up on the bench they're sitting at their table, and he stomps his feet and he says, "To the Empire!" and then flocks back an entire flagon of beer in one go, and everyone else in the bar erupts. And then he falls over.
I get sweaty as fuck. Because remember the little known quality of Dredger. It's very hot and bothered over overly masculine displays.
Correct. Bursts into a cold sweat, Dredger does.
I look over at Dredger.
I'm running to the bar. I'm like, Josh!
Yes.
A lot. A big drink. Big drink. Do you understand? Big drink.
He says, "Big for me or big for you?"
Big.
Yes. And he pulls out a flagon, and he rubs some substance in his hands, and he touches it. It is now, you think it would probably hold about a gallon. And he says, "That big enough?"
Perfect.
I really wanted him to say bigger.
And then he fills it up and he hands it to you and he goes, "That's 2 gold."
Ching, ching.
Excellent. Thank you, friend.
Do you come back over to the table with the giant drink?
I come back over the table. I am marching over to the table. I pick up the guy off the ground and I set him on the table. I look at him and I say,
For the Empire.
The rest of them sit there shocked for a minute, and then when you stop drinking, yeah!
I am Dredger Knuckle!
And then one of them looks at you and goes, "I've seen you." And the other one goes, "Yeah, you're right." And the other one goes, "Who the fuck is that?"
I hand all 3 of them signed 8x10s.
They go,
I am Dredger Knuckle, the world's largest gnome.
the last guy goes, and then the other 2 go, "Nice."
Nice.
I look at the
And they
drink
look
that
back at the bar and they
Dredger
go,
took.
"Around for everybody, on us."
Aye!
I look at the drink, the cup in Dredger's hand, and I go, "It comes in pints? I'm getting one," and run up to them.
Josh looks at you, runs up, and he goes, "1 second." And he kicks and the table comes out. He brings out the special spout, puts out 24 cups, fills them, does his levitating thing.
Hell yeah. Can you levitate the big boy back to me? Number 2.
He said,
Number
he-
two.
They did not say what the round had to be, so I want my round
It's a
to be
round for everyone, he
Dredger-sized
says.
drink.
It's only 2 gold. It's not too much.
He says, he looks at you and you make this response and he goes, "I saw how you handled your alcohol last time. You sure that's a good idea, fuzzy guy?"
Hey, Josh, did I
I'll be
ask
drunk.
for a judgment or did I ask for a drink, buddy? And I put down a gold myself to go with the money he's paying for it.
He says, "All right."
Alright.
He does the thing again. He fills it up and he hands it to you and he says, "Don't puke on my upholstery."
There's upholstery in here?
There's upholstery? I thought it was wood.
On the booths.
Oh,
I guess-
damn, he's fancy.
Yeah,
It
this
is,
is a fancy
this
fancy
is the Platinum Cup, the finest drinking establishment in Bahamut.
The emperor has stayed at this inn.
Y'all, you're in the upper district.
I guess, yeah.
Fair enough. I'm like slurring a little bit, but not like much.
All right. So, as you continue your time, Aragorn, you've probably finished your coffee by now. And he comes by and he says, "Would you like another?"
Yes.
And he says, "I'll bring out 2 for good measure. I know who you're dealing with."
Solid.
He brings back 2 and he says, "Aye, little one. What you drinking? Or eating, I guess."
Can we get cheesy fry?
You're not the little one, but that's awesome.
You were talking to Briny, but he goes, "The hell's a fry?" Anyway.
Potatoes, violent.
Oh God.
So many Lord of the Rings references. Fantasy.
I would like not as large as they got, but I would like a large whiskey, please.
He says, "Okay." And he comes back with the actual container that's like almost empty, and he puts it down on the table. It's like there's about a 1/5 left, and he goes, "You can just drink out of that, and if you finish it, you keep the bottle."
Back.
Thank you.
Traven has drank his entire mug and has now used his last spell slot of the day on Speak with Animals and is singing a song of his people, but it's in chipmunk on accident. So it's
And can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, Traven?
18 plus 3, 21.
You start to get real dizzy for a minute, and then you just like, and you're like, "I don't know how I'm still awake, but I am." You are gone.
Who is me or Dredger?
You. Ledger also has to make one since he's now got the second one.
Hold up.
He is gone.
Han? Fuck yeah, it's a 19.
Same thing. You're like, you're a little worse off than Traven, but oh, that Goliath blood's really helping. This man looking like Kratos from God of War.
I said I'd enjoy myself tonight. I'm gonna.
Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeaking.
What?
Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeaking.
I can't understand your chipmunk language.
I look at him and I just like burp, and then it's woo, woo, in bear.
You speak giant. I do too. Of all languages.
I say in giant now. I think it's wearing off, bud.
I disagree.
And then I roar in bear again. But I said for the Empire, but no one understood what I said because it was in bear.
Briny, while his drunken antics are happening, can you roll me a perception check?
Yes.
Also, have you finished your alcohol?
Briny got about 500 milliliters through, so it's got about a third left, and she's going, "I really want this fucking bottle, but I don't want the rest of this whiskey."
That's something that your player also has opinions on.
Ouch.
Especially with whiskey.
But the perception check.
No, I wouldn't have gotten that far on whiskey.
Roll me a
A
perception.
19.
19. All right, so you start to notice you're still sitting with that backpack on your back, and you notice that Josh, every time he comes by, is like trying to get a peek in, and you're like, "Why in the world?" And you realize it's because your backpack is clacking.
Which I'm assuming Dredger and I do not notice at all.
No, you can make a perception check at like disadvantage.
Damn, I
Triple
rolled a
disadvantage.
19. Ha! The other one was a 20, so 21.
Dredger,
I
11.
want to like reach over and smack Dredger and be like, and lean into him, like, and obviously he's like very incapacitated, but I'm like, dude, I think we need to figure something out about this box. It's getting louder.
Oh, small one. What? Yes. What is it? What would you like?
Oh. It lasts
I
10
don't
minutes.
know,
It's not going to
box. I
stop
think
until
you
it's
gotta
over.
Open it. Do something with it.
Oh yes, the box. Yes. What about it? What about the box?
It's loud as fuck, Dredger.
Well, it has something to do with the glaive. Perhaps we take one of these two items and put it somewhere else.
At this point, Josh walks up and he goes, did you say that your backpack is clacking because of a box?
Yes.
I look at him and go, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was a rule about boxes in bars, Josh.
Yeah, why are you picking on my small blue friend? I just kind of like coddle Briny, like, she has done nothing wrong.
Do I notice this happening?
This is establishment in any way.
I walk over and I hug Dredger, hugging Briny, and I'm like, squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeak, and squeak.
Get off me, you.
Josh holds up his hands and he goes, if you could both let go, that'd be great. He says, if you'll remember, I do magic. I have an 8-year degree.
Squeak, squeaking, squeak, squeaking.
Okay, I am the only one who speaks the King's Common right now, apparently. I'm small one, you are more sober than I am, and can probably convey things better than me. Perhaps you go with Mr. Palmer, and I continue to get intoxicated.
All right, that sounds fine. I don't think you guys are going to help me anyway.
You gonna finish that bottle?
Can I keep the bottle?
I will see to it that I don't throw it away.
Okay, then yeah, you can finish it.
Excellent. It's gone. Just
gone.
Like how you crinkle a water bottle, it's kind of like that, but without the crinkle.
With a glass bottle.
No, it's just kind of.
It's just gone. All right, yeah. Okay, you get a glass bottle.
I'm
Yay!
still hugging Dredger. I haven't let go. I'm now like petting his hair.
Please, sir, you haven't showered in a week.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. Neither of you comes out in Elvish.
What?
Aragorn understood that, believe it or not.
So does Briny.
Oh God. Everyone but the intended target understood.
I say in Elvish again, Dredger, you're my best friend.
I look at the two of them. What is he saying? I'm
Briny
nervous.
leans over and says he's in love with you. Give him a kiss and walks away with Josh.
I'm not attracted to him. He is like a brother to me.
Oh Jesus Christ.
I do not kiss brothers.
Remember when you said this wasn't a filler episode 5 minutes ago?
I forgot who I was playing with, apparently. God damn.
I look at Aragorn and in Elvish again say, what's going on?
To Aragorn?
To Aragorn.
Is
She's
Aragorn
being
sober?
quiet and I know she's sober.
And I know she's sober.
Oh yeah, that's right. The only one of you that's technically sober right now is Aragorn.
I'm not drinking.
Hey, I didn't have that much.
That's why I'm asking you questions in
You're
Elvish.
Buzzed, Briny. You're buzzed.
I'm buzzed. I don't know what that's like, so sorry if I can't.
I'm
act
sorry.
apart.
You should get buzzed more often.
I've never been.
Anyway, Briny, you come into the office with Josh, and he said, "Give me the box. I can look at it."
Okay, Bryony is a little apprehensive, but thinks she can trust Josh, so she like slowly puts her pack on the floor and pulls out the box and sets it in front of him.
He looks at it and he goes, "Huh? These small things on the corners. There's 6 of them. Those are glyphs of warding. Those hold spells. But why would someone want to put glyphs of warding on a box?"
I don't know, man. You tell me.
And he goes,
I'm just saying that over the table.
Right over the table. I don't know.
He looks at it and he goes, "Have you tried opening it? Is it locked?"
I'm pretty sure I've tried opening it, and if I haven't, I'm pissed.
No, I don't think you did.
I tried to open it.
At the cart.
Just now I tried to open it.
I think we found out about like the glyphs and we're like, yeah, probably shouldn't open this. It'll probably like fuck her day up.
Oh,
I thought we might have.
If you wanted to try to open it, you didn't tell me. So.
Oh.
I was trying to open it with the glaive earlier, but I guess I didn't word that.
You did poke it.
You were like, "I poked the box," and I was like, "Okay," it goes tink.
I thought it was gonna blow up.
I mean, my every third word was, "I want to figure out a way to open this box." So
you never acted on opening it. So would you like to open the box now?
I'm not sure. I really do want to open the box, though, if I'm not going to learn anything else about it.
Tell Josh to open the box over the table. I'm sorry, that was metagaming.
Josh,
Shut up.
Anything. Anyway.
Sorry.
What'd you say, Bryony?
I said, I'm going to open the box.
All right. So, I need you to make a dexterity check.
Oh, God.
And do you have proficiency in thieves' tools?
I'm pretty sure I do not.
Okay, then it's just a straight dexterity roll, no proficiency.
No, like, no dex modifier either?
Just the dex modifier.
Oh, okay. 11.
11.
Bad.
Nope. Sorry. That doesn't make the DC. All right. What do you get? Oh, it's not that bad. Okay. So, nothing happens, but the box is locked.
You mean all that bullshit about you saying, "Did you open the box?" and it was locked?
You didn't try to open it.
Josh asked if the box was open.
Josh Palmer, do you know how to pick locks?
He says, "No."
Okay, do any of my friends do you know how to use thieves' tools?
So do you go back to them? Are you leaving?
They're so drunk.
Okay, so
Squeaker.
cut back to the drinking table.
Squeakity squeak, squeaker, squeaking.
So, Dredger, Traven, and Aragorn. I need Dredger and Traven to make a perception check at disadvantage, and Aragorn to make a perception check.
Oh, what was it? That 20?
8.
It's 15.
15, 8. Aragorn, what'd you roll for perception?
I said 14. Wait, perception. Hold on. 19.
19. Okay. So, Traven and Aragorn, you notice that randomly these like seemingly drunk soldiers, or soldiers, they straighten up a little bit, and they turn towards Josh's office and goes, "What's that ringing?"
No.
You don't hear it.
No.
No one else hears anything. They're just like, What's that ringing?"
I walk over to them and I like friendly put my arm around one's shoulder. You know, like how friendly drunks do.
Yes.
and I'm like, squeak.
God.
Unfortunately, none of them know squirrel. So
I look over at them and I'm like, hey, maybe I know. It's Friday. Give me the box.
Briny, you hear from through the wall, Dredger announce to the entire bar that you have a box.
Oh no.
Very upset.
I get.
Please, small one, give me the box.
I love alcohol.
I
I
yell
throw
in
the
giant.
back
He
in
has
my,
a
okay.
box.
You throw the box back in the bag and do what?
I throw the box back in the bag and hustle back out to Dredger, and I like get as close to his intoxicated face as I can, and I go, I don't have a box. What are you talking about?
You are hilarious.
Briny, can you
Give Uncle Dredger the box.
Briny, can
Ew,
you
don't call
can you roll me a deception check, just straight roll, because you would have advantage because they're drunk, but you have disadvantage because Dredger's actively working against you. Yeah, straight roll. Erigo, what's up?
While they're all doing this, I'm gonna go talk to Josh.
Okay, so you go back to where Briny just came from to talk to Josh.
Get a room so I can drag all the drunk people upstairs.
Yay!
Are you just one room?
That's one room for now.
He says, all right, let's see. Room big enough, I'd say I'd give you a gold piece for the room.
Okay. I hand it over quickly.
Goes, pleasure. Also, your friend's really weird.
Yeah.
Which friend?
Which
does-
one?
Yes, all three of us.
Briny, did you make that deception check?
Yeah, it was a 5.
Oh gosh.
DM, has it been 10 minutes since I cast?
Yes, it's been 10 minutes.
Okay.
The soldiers go, why would you lie to your friends? That's weird.
I know. She's.
Wait.
I thought I was the drunk one. I honestly did. And she's talking nonsense. Bridie, give me the.
Okay, I shush Dredger and I run over to the soldiers and I like whisper and I like act like I'm almost as drunk as they are, so I'm like not suspicious. And I'm like, you see that the big blue one over there? Listen,
I'm on
like,
one of the other ones, dude.
Finger rolls, and I'm gonna propose to him, but he doesn't know, so that's the box. So you gotta shut up.
Roll me this advantage.
With advantage.
This is
I want to
hilarious.
give inspiration for that, but I also hate it.
Give inspiration for it. It's worth it. I think
It's
that's
fucking
great.
really good. I don't know, man.
Mark your inspiration.
The DM council says do it.
Oh my god.
That was excellent.
It's moments
Someone
like
please tell me how to do that.
Oh
it's a-
god, on D&D Beyond, I'm not positive how to put inspiration in
I
D&D.
think you can choose to roll with advantage when you do a roll.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
it
all
is.
it is.
Okay. Okay.
But I come back to the party and say, hey guys, I got us a room. How about we head upstairs?
What language did you say that in?
Anything that you'll understand at this point.
Let's just go with common.
I say in Goblin, but
Ergo,
I'm having such a great time, which comes out as
I also know Goblin, so I come back in Goblin. That's great. We can continue it upstairs.
That is an
I want to
excellent
pretend
query.
that I'm.
I will join you as soon as I get down hands on this box.
Upstairs.
Briny wants to keep the facade going to the soldiers, jumps on Traven's back and goes, woo, upstairs!
Raven looks at her and turns invisible, but still goes upstairs.
It's now alone downstairs.
I love this so much.
Wow.
I love alcohol. All right. I was starting to think this was a mistake to let you guys buy all the alcohol you wanted, but no, it was
Not
not.
at all. This is wonderful. This is so good.
All right, where's everybody going? God, box. And I'd like kind of stumble up.
All right. So after about 5 minutes, you get up to the room that Aragorn has reserved. And
I immediately look at Traven and I say, "Put me the fuck down now."
I look at her and I go, "You jumped on me there, eh?"
And I am afraid of heights. Put me down now.
Well, you got on my shoulders at the parade.
And my shoulders at the parade, eh?
I thought that was fun.
I look at Traven, or I look at Treasure, and I say, "I just want him to put me down. I'm making shit up. Now, Traven, put me down!"
All right.
I put her in one hand and hold her a little higher, and then put her down.
Role play amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Okay.
What if we...
So, you're gonna give me the box now, right?
Yes, oh my gosh. I immediately shut the door and lock it, and I toss the box to Dredger.
I'm gonna stand near the door to check if he like comes up and tries to listen through the door.
Hey, Dredger.
Oh, I should have asked if there was running water. in the room.
Dredger.
Just assume yes.
Dredger.
Okay, no, Eric would have to tell me if they sobered up at all. Never mind, I'll wait.
Hey Dredger, you alive there?
Dredger froze.
Dredger gone.
Oh.
Your machine broke.
Question for the DM.
I was gonna ask if there's running water in our room.
Yeah. There was running water in the other room.
Cool. I'm gonna use my shape the water cantrip and splash the fuck out of our two drunken idiots.
All right.
Dredger machine broke though.
Dredger machine broke anyway.
Treasure machine.
He'll call me if he needs to.
Correct.
There he comes.
Dredger machine back.
Okay, so I have the box.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to rip open the box.
Oh jeez.
Please do it.
You can sure try. All right.
It has wards on it, so like that doesn't mean you can't rip it in half.
Make me a strength check.
Wait.
16.
Not quite. All right.
Traven sees
What
that.
happens?
Good idea.
No. How close
Rat.
together are you guys?
We are all in the same tavern. We are in the same inn room, so I would imagine pretty close.
Pretty close together.
Yeah.
I need everyone to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
10.
Okay.
13.
19. Wait, my con's not +3. 17's not +3.
Is this going to be like when you're in a car accident but you're drunk, so like you don't get hurt as bad?
So you all saved.
Oh,
But
okay.
what happens is as Dredger grabs onto the box and just pulls as hard as he can, you see it start to pulse with electric energy. You all take 3 points of shock damage.
And are we saved?
Oh, sorry. Yes. You all take 1 point of shock damage.
Okay, that's not as bad.
Aw, cute.
You saved. So it's
Does this sober up Dredger or I? Pain?
I did get zapped.
a little bit.
Physical pain? Look.
It's like when a jump
Oh,
person
hey,
puts
that's
their finger in a socket.
Yeah, got a little
That's,
zap. Got a little zappy zap.
Yeah.
I grab the box and I go, I think one more and we might be totally fine, Dredger, and I pull on the box.
I'm giving him the help action.
Advantage strength check.
I grab one half, he grabs the other half, and we just.
All right,
my
here we go.
God.
I'm gonna grab 2 d20s and roll them at the same time.
Yes.
Strength check, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it athletics?
The strength.
Strength.
check.
Just strength. Okay. 15.
I gotta roll this d6 again. That doesn't do it. And you pull. Time comes to a close. It stops. And the box wiggles out of your hands, drops to the ground very gently, and starts moving towards the exit. Time's back in, and the box is moving away from you.
I jump
Hey,
on the box.
Briny
Get
leaps
back
onto
here, you
it.
little box.
The whole party tackles the box.
All right, I'll say since more than 2 of you are jumping on this box, you restrain the box.
Is it still actively trying to leave?
No.
Oh, okay.
What do you have against me?
Will someone heavy get off of it and see if it drags me somewhere important?
I hand the box back to Bryony.
Let's see what this. Why is this one trying to get away?
It doesn't move, it just sits in her hands.
I tap the box. I go, I thought we were friends, eh? And you tried to run away.
The box doesn't answer.
I want this box fucking open. Hey, does anybody have the proficiency in like the stealth tools that Eric was talking about now that we're all sitting next to each other?
So
No.
Bryony asked if no one heard. Bryony asked if anyone has proficiency with these tools.
Nope. Disguise kit. Entertainer background, baby.
Bagpipes.
I have no tools whatsoever.
Outlander background, baby. I have proficiency in bagpipes. Does that help today?
No. Not that I know of.
No, but I could put a pretty nifty costume on you if you gave me the right stuff.
I look at Dredger and I go, you are going to dress me up and I'm going to go play bagpipes downstairs and then I pass out.
Oh,
Excellent.
Terrible time to pass out.
So what you doing?
I want this box open.
I'm on the ground.
You can give it another try.
Well, I'm like kind of I've come to is like, what did Josh say to you about the box?
He just asked if I had tried to open it.
Well, we have twice. Perhaps go tell him what happened.
Okay, you drunk fuckers stay here. Aragorn, please watch them. I
He's
will be
not
back.
going anywhere, and I have a lot to think about.
I sit up, kind of like. Hey,
Okay,
cousin,
so I run
I'm
back
okay.
downstairs
Okay.
and I like kind of take a peeky peek around the bar to see if the soldiers are gonna notice me coming back.
No, they're currently trying to arm wrestle a small old lady who just came to get dinner.
These are my kind of people.
Okay, then is Josh in his office or is he around the bar?
Josh is just sitting around the bar.
Okay, I like try to like covertly catch his attention and like shift my eyes toward his office and like nod that direction and like run to his office and wait for him
He
to get
walks
there.
over, unlocks the door, and walks in, and he goes, "What?"
I close the door and go, okay, we tried to open it twice.
And
Well, the first time we all got zapped, and the second time time stood still. So we tried to open it.
He said, "Well, I think I have a spell that can help you. Maybe." And he goes, "Give me the box."
Hand him the box.
Puts it down on his desk, and he mutters some arcane words, and this purplish energy comes out of his hand. And the box pops open.
Fuck me. I'm so sad.
You know, being a wizard, sometimes you get pretty cool spells, and some of them just unlock things for you.
Joshua Palmer is the greatest wizard of all time.
Thank you for your Alohomora shit. What is in the box?
Okay, you open the box, and inside it
Fucking empty.
is absolutely nothing. No, it's a cube, and looking from the top, you see there's a rune on it that you don't recognize, and
So it's not an N.
it's not the N, not on top. Take the box out of the box.
Okay.
Do you take it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to look at it.
Are you inspecting it closely?
Yeah.
All right. I have some pictures to send y'all.
Oh, well, I don't know this shit. I'm too busy kind of sulking.
Yep. So,
I'm too busy just like looking at the wall and breathing really hard, trying to remember how to breathe.
some pictures.
I think you got into that herb, Traven. Too much of that.
Are we smoking right now too? We can.
Too much of that herb will
All right.
turn those lungs into manual mode, not automatic.
Bryony, I'm going to send you privately what you see, and you can choose to send it to the rest of the party if you would like.
When she gets back.
Yes, when she gets back.
You know, not to fucking spill the beans on the dragon egg. She was the only one to pass the perception check.
Oops. There we go.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Like, what does that say? Oh, it's a dragon egg. I'm like, oh, is it?
Is it really?
All
I mean,
right.
to be fair, we already kind of knew what it was just from the description.
I felt like such an idiot, okay? Like, John got me, like, crying to myself for, like, a solid hour after we hung up.
Aw.
So,
He felt real bad about it.
furthermore, Bryony, you notice that these things that you see are mounted on buttons. They look like you can push them.
Where is this?
Okay. Are you sending me pictures? I thought you were.
I did. I sent you pictures there on Facebook.
Send pics.
Transformers cube.
I beg to differ.
Well, they're not there yet. You'll get them in a second.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a minute.
What's the cube that
Is
gives off?
there anything that would, like, tell me it would be a bad idea to push these buttons?
Make me an Arcana check.
That's an 8.
You don't see any reason that you should push them, but you also don't see any reason that you shouldn't push them.
So do I understand any of these things that you sent me?
Well, you recognize the one.
Yeah.
You recognize the one. None of the others really look similar. Like, they don't look anything special.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Josh Palmer if he recognizes any of this shit.
He goes, not quite, no. I kind of recognize this M with the slash through it, though. He goes, I don't know where from. It looks familiar. I like it, though. Briny, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I'm definitely trying to read through your paper.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, back in the room. Is Dredger still with us?
Yeah, I'm not out. I'm in.
Dredger, have you taken your papoose off yet?
Nope.
Okay. The egg is vibrating.
Take it off!
Oh Jesus. I hold the egg and I kind of put it on the ground and I kind of poke at it and I say,
It cracked.
Am I
Ah!
sober enough to notice what's going on?
And you hear
Oh my god!
crawls
I'm looking
This-
down. I'm like,
baby red dragon, and it goes, Mama.
I scoop him.
You
I
scoop
hold him
him.
very close to me. I say,
Okay. He goes. He folds his wings in and then folds them back out, and he goes back into your arms. And he looks up at you and surprisingly says in your own head, "Where am I?"
I say out loud, you're in Bahamut. It's a city in the Empire.
Who are you?
I am Dredger Knuckle. I seem to have raised you.
And everyone else in the room now notices it smells distinctly like sulfur. He says, "Okay, we'll see how this goes." And he
Well,
curls
allow
up.
me to explain, my small friend. I found your egg in this very tavern. The person who was guarding your egg disappeared. I took it upon my fine self to look after this egg, as my parents taught me, all life is valuable. So,
I carried you and I motion towards the papoose on my chest and I say,
well, I carried you along in my travels, keeping you as safe as I possibly could.
He looks at you and he says, in your brain, he says, "How much do you know about dragons?"
I know it is ill to speak of them in a negative tone.
Okay.
And Aragorn pull out her book.
Yes, Aragorn can pull out her book.
Is there anything in the book that would point us directly towards this dragon?
About baby red dragons? You know what? After a bit of searching, you find something about baby dragons in general. It says that generally that dragons in general are very hard-headed. They don't listen super well. But you don't it's unknown whether that is a born trait or if that is learned by from their parents.
Okay.
You also read some things about how dragons have a very insatiable appetite, especially when they're full grown, and that dragons love to collect things, shiny things, expensive things.
Do you tell all the rest of us that?
Everyone but Bryony, who's still not there. Unless she is there and hasn't told me yet.
Oh, I perhaps have a proposition. How about I provide for you as if I was your mother, and you join this group?
He says, that might be agreeable.
Because if what you want is to not be here, I have no problem letting you go out on your own. But I admittedly have grown quite attached to the egg that was most recently on my chest.
He says, I think we can be mutually beneficial.
I agree.
You help me find a suitable cave. Somewhere where I can live and keep my things. And maybe I help you if you need help in the future.
I believe those are very agreeable terms.
Then it's done.
Absolutely.
and I put out a little finger. Like, how small is this, like, wormling? It's a wormling.
Well, it is about 2 feet long with about 1.5 foot wingspan. It's small, but
So it's like a beagle with wings.
Yeah.
I put like one of my big old sausage fingers out to like gesture. Grab the finger. And I shake. We have a deal.
Yes. And then he flies off to the corner of the room, a little shakily, and then perches up and then like curls up on like a nightstand.
I look over and I'm out of spell slots, so I use my racial ability of speech of beast and leaf to speak to him, making sure that he'll be able to understand. And I say, "Hey, are you hungry there?" And I pull out some rations from my backpack.
He says, "Yes."
I put them on the floor for him to just.
They're gone almost instantly.
Okay, it was only 2 days.
2 days worth of food.
For me, a 7'8" blue.
Whoever wants can keep track of that character sheet that I just sent.
Is this based off the stat block that I sent you?
Yes, it's just homebrewed a little bit.
It is broken.
It says page not found.
Weird. All right, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
It is broken.
All right, so back to Briny. Have you just been sitting here looking at this thing? Oh, Aragorn, what'd you need? What'd you say?
Mine works, so I guess I'm in charge.
Sure, you can be in charge. You're the dragon expert, technically, so you have the book.
Okay.
No, the book is not titled How to Train Your Dragon.
Is my little baby.
It should be.
Is it dragon training for leisure and pleasure?
It is not that either.
Little baby.
It's histories of wormlings and dragons and how they affected the Middle Haven.
It's a very boring book title.
It's also not in common.
What's it in?
What's it in?
In Elvish.
Oh.
I can read it.
I can read it.
I can.
Correct. All right.
We really got to teach Dredger a little bit of Elvish, just for a code language.
Bryony, what you doing?
Bryony wants to ask Josh if there's anything else that he can figure out about this cube.
He says, well, it's square. It looks pretty cool. Yeah. I could identify it if you got 10 minutes.
Josh
Palmer got 2 inebriated friends upstairs, and as far as I know, they're passed out by now. Yeah, I got 10 minutes.
Says,
oh, my sweet summer child.
And he starts to do the same thing you saw Iramaeus do. And he 10 minutes later, he says, I do know what this is. That's pretty weird. And he actually writes down on a piece of paper that he has on his desk. And it is, if you would like, I can send this to just you, and then you can choose to share it.
Okay.
There you go. He says, that's what it's telling me it is. Don't really know what it does. I kind of know what it does, but the language is weird. He said, that's all I can think of to do with this thing.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Josh Palmer. You helped me open this godforsaken cube, and I am very appreciative. And for that, I'm going to give you 2 gold, and I'm going to go tell my friends.
He says, thank you, and then walks back out to see the soldiers still there. And you go up.
It never states how much gold I have. Sorry. I'm having issues with D&D. Yeah, you know what I mean.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So I run back upstairs.
Briny bursts into the room
And sees a dragon.
and sees
Wait. I like charge in and I'm like holding the box under my arm and I'm holding the cube in my hand. And I'm like, guys, look, I found out what the cube is. What the fuck is that?
Hey. He is our new friend. And I kind of turn to him.
Briny is like frozen
Cousin,
at the door.
is that any way to deal with a new pal?
I turn to him and I say, what is it precisely that you would like to be called?
He says, well, I don't know. I'm drawn to the letter S. So something with that.
Silva.
Pretty weird because I'm red, but we'll take it.
Oh, yeah, hold on, my accent did kind of...
I was waiting for you to get
I'm
there.
thinking more of Anderson Silva, not Silva.
Oh, with an A. Oh, I see.
Okay, I also thought
It would be like
Silva.
Sylva, Silva.
Okay.
He says, that can be agreeable. Silva.
This is our new friend, Silva. He hatched from chest.
Has he said if he is going to eat us?
He
Hey,
says,
cousin, he ate earlier today.
I don't think I could eat you anyway. You're still kind of a bit bigger than me. But
Okay.
give me about a week. I should be at normal wormling size. Just you wait.
Okay. On that note, one traumatic experience at a time, please. I know what the cube is.
What's the cube do, bud?
Oh yeah, it was in the box. I got the box open.
You buried the lead there a little bit, huh? As my family always used to say, you put the hammer.
What does that mean? That I'm definitely going to hand to all of you now in a moment. So Josh gave me this piece of paper. I really don't know how I really haven't figured it out yet. Haven't had time to sit down with it. So I figured we could all work on it together because, we're fairly smart people, right? No, but fine. We'll figure it out. We'll know what we know. Look at this piece of paper and look at this cube.
She hands you a piece of paper that you all like do the anime thing where you like pile up behind each other to look at it.
I definitely handed it to Aragorn specifically because I have the most faith that she can read at this present time.
That's a bit beefy for level 3s, Mr. Dungeon Master. All right.
Holy shoot.
Yeah.
I told you it gets wild. Y'all didn't listen.
Mr. Dungeon Master, I chose the wrong archetype.
All right.
I could have been a Horizon Walker, and that would have been cool.
Over the table for a second. Hey, over the table. John, will you explain this to me later?
Sorta. I'm not positive what he's going to do with it.
Here, I'll leave it at this.
Hell
He
yeah.
just kind of gave us a really high level spell on a stick.
Yeah. A spell on a stick that's like ridiculous.
I can
Awesome.
explain it more after the session if you need clarification.
That's kind of why we're all reacting like this.
Clarification, if you will.
Clarification. Thank you, God.
I
Also,
examined the paper.
Cleric go through.
I examined the paper. I'm definitely sober now. A dragon just hatched in front of my fucking eyes. And I say, well, if this could take us to different planes of existence, I would like to have a chat with this Asmodeus fellow. Not now, because
I,
one,
for one,
little bit drunk. Two, demon from the nine hells not really in my wheelhouse.
I was going to say there, I would at least like to sleep it off before we try to go fight a giant demon thing.
Well, of course, that could be saved for later. But, you, small one, our new friend Silva wants a cave. We must find him a cave.
I think that we'll be able to find him a cave. It shouldn't be too hard. But while we're talking about the Nine Hells shit, there were also a bunch of runes on that box, one of which was that funky little N that we saw. They looked kind of like this, and I don't think I had a paper with them on it, but for the sake of...
She describes them and can show you on the cube. They're printed on there in like bright yellow against a black drop. A red backdrop. There we go.
Okay.
I mean, weren't they on the box?
Yeah. I'm just describing what they look like on the buttons themselves.
Oh, those were on the buttons? I thought that was on the box.
No. They were on the cube on the buttons.
Gotcha. Sorry, I had that wrong.
I look at those and I go, I got nothing, bud.
Did he tell you what any of these other runes means?
He was less than useless in this particular instance. He said he somewhat recognized the M with the strike through, but that's all he said.
Perhaps.
Would I recognize any from any of my readings?
Make me a history check.
Ah. 22.
22. Yes, you recognize all of them.
Wait, what do they mean?
All right. So, you recognize... Okay.
Now he's changing.
You recognize all of them. That doesn't necessarily mean you know exactly what it entails that they're on buttons.
Rude.
All right. So, the mountain with the sea around it, you know that to be the symbol for the plane of law, Mount Celestia. Interesting.
What was that?
That was
That Mount Celestia?
What that was.
I have no idea what that was.
Is that the sound of Mount Celestia?
Nope.
Yes.
It's the exact opposite of the sound of Mount Celestia.
And then you know the N to be the Nine Hells. You know the trapezoid with all the squiggles and the lines in it to be the elemental plane. You know the X with the cross through and the hammer looking thing to be Isgard. And you know the M through the strike through to be the material plane. And you know the two P's that are doing something very inappropriate to be pandemonium.
Oh, God. Okay. I share this with the group.
All right. So you point to them and explain what they are.
Well, if I were to make an educated guess, I would assume that if we pressed one of these runes along with this handy-dandy instruction pamphlet that our friend Josh provided us, I believe we could go to the corresponding plane of existence with this cube.
Aragorn, you've heard, with that roll, you've actually heard of this device.
Okay.
And you've heard of this device, and you know it to be an artifact from a long time ago. A powerful wizard came up with it. He created it, and he his last act, as in the power that he was in, was to outlaw the magic that is associated with these runes, and then he disappeared forever. Huh?
Actually, was Josh calling, but I shared the information if the party is.
Okay. So now you know things that I'm not sure. Did Dredger catch that?
Sorry, a scene from the Boondocks came up and I had to watch. Can you repeat that for me? I apologize.
Fair. But did you catch what I said?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Aragorn has shared with the party that she recognizes this to be an artifact from a long time ago. A powerful wizard that created it, his last act in power was to outlaw the magic that is associated with this device and then disappear forever. He hasn't been seen since.
Solid.
Does anyone have any input? Because I don't.
No.
No.
Won't have any questions. Are you gonna just go to sleep?
I would like to see.
Perhaps.
All right. So y'all go to sleep in your shared room. Aragorn meditates, as you do, and you wake up the next day. Congratulations. Dredger and Traven are hungover as fuck.
Ouch. My brain.
My brain.
Oh, God.
Ouch,
Hey
brain.
guys, did I sing in the squirrel?
You did by a lot.
You did. You really did.
Was there a? I look over at Silva and I went, "Oh shit, that wasn't a cool dream."
No, it is actually a cool reality.
I go, wait a minute. He wanted a cave.
Yes, we must find a place for him to live elsewhere.
Dude, I can just magically find a cave.
Okay.
Any cave he wants.
I have an idea.
Oh boy.
We know a cave.
We do.
It's quite cool, too. In fact, I believe there's already stuff in that cave.
Silva
We're gonna go back.
perks up and he goes, expensive stuff?
Perhaps. I do not believe we found everything in that cave.
He says, is it nearby people?
No.
Okay.
Would you prefer it to be nearby people?
Kind of.
I mean, it is and it isn't. It is on the clearing of a forest, but it is near a town.
That works.
Oh, okay. Very okay.
Where is it?
Is about 3 days.
I caught.
Oh no. 3 days. I knocked something down. 3 days, and I'm assuming he finished that to the south.
Yeah.
Silva says, I can fly there myself. It'll probably take only about a day and a half for me.
Oh, we should wait for Dredger to hear this part. This is
Interesting.
Gonna break his heart.
gonna break his heart. He should hear
Yeah.
that.
Poor guy. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, are there anything that needs cleared up before Dredger gets back? Any questions? Anything? Nope.
Nah.
Nothing. Man, I must be
Cool.
on point with my descriptions.
You're doing pretty good today.
I'm working on it.
I am
mean-
glad that I had that box because I actually did something for once.
I'm gonna be honest. I expected you guys to try to open it again without asking for Josh. You didn't
Well,
even.
you did put us in Josh's bar, which made it easier.
Yeah. Well, that's where you guys decided to go. There were a handful of ways to go about that. I think there were 3 or 4, actually.
Gonna roll for how much Traven misses Dredger. It's an 18.
A lot.
A lot.
Big.
He's very sad.
All right, someone call him real quick, just so we can continue and not just sit here with dead air, because it's making...
Boy, you're up.
Is everyone there? Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. There's TV, though.
Background noises, whatever. It's not like we're super professional on set. We're not getting paid to do this.
That ship sailed a long time ago.
That ship sailed the first time I mentioned a goblin pooped himself.
I was gonna say that ship sailed about the same time that I said I was gonna propose to Traven, but like.
Oh, that's actually Nick Murray's mailbox. Sorry. I thought that was a joke.
Interesting.
Here he is.
Hello. Dredger, welcome back.
Is he back?
He's probably just connecting to the audio.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while that happens, bless you.
Wow.
That was very loud. There was at your room door.
Apologize. Someone knocked on the door, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Traven holds a finger. Oh, no, Nick's calling me.
On.
Hello. All right. So what you missed was you mentioned the cave in Hilfar, and Silva says that he could very easily fly there. It would only take about a day and a half for him, if that, maybe a couple hours.
Will he be able to know like exactly where the cave is?
Do you ask him that? He says, I don't know. Caves are generally pretty high up. At least I think so. He is struggling.
Man,
Normally, he's the most connected out of all of us.
I know.
Hello.
Is Dredger on the phone now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he says, well, caves are pretty high up, right?
What is, yes.
He says, I can fly there. If it's like near the top of a mountain, I'll see it as I'm coming in.
Yes.
Oh no.
Dang.
Buddy.
That's rough, man.
Oh, buddy. That is really rough.
Oh,
All right. Well, as you were saying, Dredger.
it's a mundane town, but you can't miss it. There's a sign. There's a lot of woods surrounding it. You think you can find it?
He says, I can give it a try.
Well, if you don't think it's that much of an encumbrance to you, go search it out. And if you need help, well, you know where we are.
Correct. And he says, just open the window, I'll fly out. And then you hear at your door.
I jump to the window and throw it open.
Traven jumps towards the door and draws a short sword.
He flies out the window. Do you open the door?
I'm like standing with like like the hand like near it with the other hand on the hilt of my sword, just like ready.
Okay. He said, the voice from the other side of the door says, "Open up. I know what you have."
Just in case.
If you don't open up, I will break the door down. I will count to 3.
Draven, open the door.
I open the door.
And you see this very tall, almost 8-foot man with what appear to be like they're kind of like dreadlocks, like his hair's dreaded. And he's very pale and he's wearing dark blue armor. And then laid on the front, you actually see a mountain with a scroll in the middle of it. All right. I don't know when he froze, so I'm just going to continue with
I'm
my...
back.
All right. So and he looks in there and he goes, "I believe you have something that belongs to the Conclave."
I don't have anything for you.
He says, "Well, that's weird, then my alarm spell must be lying to me."
Is that a deception or a persuasion?
That's
Or-
Go ahead and roll some deception for me.
Who?
Aragorn's the one that said it, right?
Yeah.
What did you roll, Aragorn?
15.
15. He goes, "Well, yeah, that's weird. That's never failed before. Do you mind if I look anyway?"
Do you mind if I knock you the fuck out?
Says, "Well, I wouldn't recommend it."
I wouldn't either.
Whatever.
I give her a high five.
All right. He says, I'm looking for it's a box made out of lead. It's engraved and it has some glyphs on it.
I stared daggers at Bryony.
I cross my my headphone popped out. I cross my arms, lean in closer, and go. And what's the point of that, there, bud?
Why does it belong to the Conclave?
He says, "Well, we were using it to transport a important artifact. You know, like pretty powerful one, like about 3 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches."
Is he telling the truth?
Roll an insight check.
Vibe check.
Roll me a vibe check.
22.
22. Yeah, you get the sense that he's telling the truth.
Why does it belong to the Conclave?
He says, "Well, we're the keepers of knowledge, all the way dating back to the Rift, and some books into the Age of Arcanum, but this one's like kind of, it's old, but it's one of the newer ones. We recently uncovered it somewhere.
Where?
Can't tell you that.
Why?
It would upset the balance that we have tried so desperately to maintain."
Were you really maintaining it that well if you lost it?
Ooh.
Well, that's a good point. I'll bring that up to the rest of the council.
Cool.
But do you have the cube?
I already answered your question, buddy.
I open my mouth, and if someone doesn't stop me, I'm gonna tell him.
I slap a hand right over Dredger's mouth, and I go, "Hey, here's the deal, bud. We don't have anything that would belong to the Conclave, and my friend here got really drunk last night. I don't know what he was about to say, but I'm sure it was exceedingly offensive.
Who did you?
I look over at him and I go,
Them large goblins, you just can't trust them.
I'm just saying.
I put 2 hands over his mouth.
Well, he says, well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That sucks. I guess I'll just have to wait until the cart actually gets to the island. Okay. Well, if you find it, let me know.
If we find it next time you come knocking on our door, don't threat to break it down. You might receive a warmer welcome.
Says, well, I heard you talking and a lot of rustling around. It sounded like you were trying to hide something from me, but you guys seem like upstanding citizens of the Empire and a cow.
I give him a little salute.
He turns around and he says, I gotta talk to that freaking guy. His spell malfunctioned again. I'm over it. And he's gone.
I shut the door.
As soon as the door closes, I grab Traven and I just look at him. Why?
Why what, bud?
Why did you lie to him?
I put up a hand and still say that he may be, that we don't, later conversation.
No, actually, I'm kind of thinking about this.
We don't know where ears are, my dude.
Yes, I understand this, but the conversation that was happening outside the walls when we came in, there seems to be tensions. And a novel politician such as myself would tend to think that if we lied to a conclave official and they find out, how would that end for the Empire?
What does the Empire want with a box that allows them to travel to the 9 hells?
Yes.
Probably the 9 hells.
I see your logic and reasoning. But here's the thing. The Empire, as far as my very small Goliath brain understands, doesn't want this box. But we, or at least me and Aragorn, are citizens of the Empire.
This is correct.
And we lied to them. You especially.
I think at this point, however, you're in a position where even if the probability of people coming back to dig could be moderate to high. And he did mention that the spell had malfunctioned before. So we always say that we had found it afterwards.
Here's my 2 cents. Here's my 2 copper pieces. He asked about the box inside, the cube inside the box. If they come back for it, we simply say we never opened the box, didn't know what was inside the box, we didn't know what he was talking about.
Or we could go that route.
The box was locked when we found it, right, bud? I say, looking over at Bryony.
Bryony is like quaking because she is afraid of everything that is new, and just kind of like nods her head like a bobblehead.
So there's the plan. Let's get a little bit of rest. Or is this, we already woke up, didn't we?
This is the morning.
We already woke
Oh
up.
yeah, I forgot what time it was.
It's about 10 a.m.
Let's go get a move on, see what's going on, see what we can do today.
Well, I quite literally have an axe to grind. So I'm going to go find Mr. Forgefire so I can make this demon axe even cooler.
How about we just treasure and see what happens?
Aragorn and Dredger, you actually would know what that man does for the conclave and what the conclave is. So I
It would have
have
been nice to know that before we decided to lie to them.
no, it's fine.
Well, you wouldn't know, Mr. Liar Man.
I don't care. I lied to them on purpose.
You knew already.
Nice.
You knew already his name. His name was Alamar. You know he's the head of the conclave.
Oh,
Great.
shit.
You know the conclave, and you all would have known this from what you heard in the conversation, or at least you probably could have pieced it together. And the conclave is kind of like the UN, but if the UN kept history as well.
All right.
Okay.
So that's it. It's nothing super groundbreaking.
Well,
Okay.
my recommendation is that we do not falsify information to world leaders in the future.
I'm down with that.
I can get on board with that, I guess.
I'll take it as it comes.
You know what? Agreeable.
And I point to Aragorn.
All right. So what do you do now?
We're following Dredger to see what he does with his axe.
I would
Okay.
like to just grind my axe.
Okay. So you show up to the Heffram Forge Fire's
Ephraim, that's his name.
place, and he says, "Ah, you're here to grind your axe."
I absolutely just said that, and that is hilarious.
He says, "Well, I think we agreed on was it 175 gold if you got me the whetstone?"
Yes, it was.
Okay. And he says, "Well, hand me the axe and I'll be, with this new whetstone, I might be able to get it to you in let's try about 12 hours. Come back and see how it's coming."
Sounds excellent.
And I set the axe on the table. I set a small purse of 175 gold pieces. And I say,
I trust you'll do good work on this weapon.
Says, "That does be my job."
Absolutely. I will return to you in 12 hours' time.
Cool. All right. The festival is still going on. You're on the penultimate day.
Second to last. Right? That's what that word means?
Yes. Second to last
Okay.
day.
I was double checking. Look at that. I learned something from reading the Lemony Snicket books.
You're on the second to last day, and what do you do?
What's going on for today?
Today, there are no special events. However, there are the same booths that you went to last time, and those shops that you found yesterday are going to be open again as well.
Is that it?
There might be, you wouldn't know without getting like an official schedule for the day. But there might be like, I don't know, some grand show of strength or something. I don't know.
believe it or not, Dredger would like to go find a book.
A book? Okay. Where would you like to go?
What are my options?
Well, your options are in the immediate vicinity, nothing. But if you're referring to also in the town square, you have the Tome and Tea.
Ah, yes, this place I saw yesterday.
Yes.
I would like to travel to the Tome and Tea because I am already familiarized with what it is.
Okay. Your other options would have been the city library or the archives. But
I will check there later if necessary.
okay. Does everyone follow?
Yeah.
Okay.
No need
So-
to party right now.
When you arrive at the Tome and Tea, you notice this human man in very bright red robes, he's reading a very thick book, like I'm talking Silmarillion thick, if you've ever seen how big that book is. And he looks
Shit.
up and he goes, "Welcome."
Thank you. You are very, flamboyantly dressed.
Says, it's what I do. Sell books and dress flamboyantly.
Well, I was looking for a book on the subject of dragons, preferably a bio. I turn to Aragorn. What's the word? The life study of life. Aragorn.
Um,
The life study of life. I can't. It's not coming to me. It starts with a B. I know. Oh God, my mother said it all the time.
biology.
That's the one. That's the one.
A biology. Oh,
Biology book on dragons.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure I've got something. I'm a history bookseller, but I am the best bookseller in Bahamut. He says, I have a degree in librarian studies, and he points to his very ornately framed degree from Tallinn University. I apologize.
There's
And
a lot of fancy pieces of paper in this town, I swear.
he says, I just the best decision of my life. Not at all more expensive than I bargained for to get a degree as a librarian.
Sir, I support you in your decisions as long as they bring you joy and no harm to others.
He says, book on biology about dragons. He goes, he walks over to the left corner of the store and he goes, oh, that's not the biology of dragons, that's the history of dragons. That's dragons and their theoretical use as siege weapons. Dragon kin. Oh, biology of dragons. Yes, Aragorn. Thank you for raising your hand.
Does this guy recognize me?
No.
Oh, okay, that's all.
Okay. Yeah.
So he has it.
He has it and he brings it over and he goes, this, do you want to buy it? Or do you want to get it here?
May I thumb through it first? Like take a look at the contents. I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for.
Sure, I'll be right here. And he looks at Aragorn and he's like, you look really smart to be traveling with this one.
This is the smart one.
Are you a learned man? A learned woman, if you will?
No, he looks really smart. Yeah.
Where?
And woman. Whoa, man.
Where did you study?
Might want to take a look at your paper, my dude.
Oh shit. He goes, would you happen to be are you a former student? Or do you, am I forgetting, were you one of my professors?
Well, might have been.
What do you teach?
Herbology?
Says, no, I didn't take that class. That's a good thing. All right, I would have been very embarrassed. And he's just standing there while Dredger thumbs through this book, noticing that he just kind of shit-talked he just kind of shit-talked your place of work. And he goes, does that look like what you're looking for, big guy?
All right. Does it?
Um,
What is in the book, and can I read it?
You can read it. It's in common. And what you see is it's a lot of anatomical, like, just it is word vomit. There are diagrams, there are in-depth instructions on how the fire gland or the breath gland works in a dragon, how their wings affect their flight. It's a lot.
So about red dragons, right? Red dragons too?
It's about dragons in general, yeah.
You said you mumbled and you mentioned a book on the history of dragons. Perhaps that one might be what I'm looking for.
I hand him the book back.
He puts it back on the shelf and he goes, pulls out the history of dragons and he goes, This one's a good one. It's a thesis written not too long ago.
Okay, recent. That's very good for research
Peer
material.
reviewed as well.
Peer reviewed, yes, and I'm just kind of shaking my head as I'm looking down at the book. Yes, peer review, very it's very reliable research.
So it talks about dragons as like what they're known to have done, their uses and role in the rift, their uses and role, well, more less their uses, their role in society in the more recent age, and it talks about some rumors that have been circulating around at the time of the writing of the book that there might be some in the northern continent somewhere, and maybe the southern continent in the far reaches, maybe, but that's not entirely
It's
proven.
basically a research paper on dragons.
Yeah, like the research paper we had to do for Borth's class, but like 1,000 pages.
Oh yeah, I remember that class.
Yes, this seems like something quite valuable. I will purchase this book from you.
He says, "Okay, let's go with a silver."
What? Oh, goodness gracious me! I put down a silver. That is very, very agreeable price. Thank you.
He takes it and he puts it in a bag and he says, "Oh, I can offer you a lot of there's history on magic. I got mystery. I got history on and just about everything, actually. That's kind of what I do. I sell history books.
I am not concerned.
You have history of runes.
History of runes. Runes of what nature? Runes of the old language? Runes.
I look at Bryony and I'm like,
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. He says, I have some books from the Age of Arcanum that would maybe talk about like spellcrafting runes.
That sounds pretty cool. Let me look at that.
He says, okay. And he picks up the book he was reading earlier and he goes, this one. And on the side, it says, History of the Age of Arcanum and the Development of Magic as a Language.
Oh, this looks great.
He says it's a good read. This is my second or third read through of it. I read it for the first time, when I was probably in like pre-university. That was a pretty good read. It took me about 2 years, but I made it through.
Oh, well, I don't really have that much pack room, but maybe another time. It looks pretty interesting. I might come back.
He says it's right. It is. You're right. It's a great, great read.
Hey, bud.
Yes.
What do you have on cookbooks?
Cookbooks.
Specifically campfire cooking stuff you can do with just like a grill type setting.
He looks and he goes, I need to check on that. And he goes back to the counter and he pulls out, and it's a big old box and it's got papyrus and it's labeled, and he switches through and he goes, would you be interested in the orcish tactic of spicing mead?
No.
I would. Like the player, Nick Murray would actually be very interested in reading that book.
Yes, John Hartman would like that as well, but not Traven.
It says, dwarven brews to put hair on your chest.
I'd like to say I already have hair on my entire body.
That's a good point. He flips through and he goes, yes. How to make your camp food last longer, elven style.
Elven style.
And he says, is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah, let me look at it.
He hands it to you.
I hand it immediately to Aragorn and go, is this cultural appropriation?
Jesus Christ.
Everything is ultra appropriate.
I just shake my head and hand it back.
I don't know if that's a yes or a no. I say, so I go, sure, why not? Let's buy it.
He goes, all right, 1 silver.
Put a silver on the counter.
How does he make any money?
He looks and he goes, well, he looks at Briny and he says, are you a water genasi by any chance?
Yes, I am.
Would you like a book on the history of your people and how they affected the Empire pre-Rift?
I'm not gonna fake. That sounds pretty cool.
He walks over to where it is, and it's a very, 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 very dusty blue book. And he pulls it out, and he blows the dust off, and it says, Water Genasi and How They Influenced the War with the Gods. It's not a very large book by comparison, but it's a book.
Where is he with the book?
He came back to the counter.
Okay, I would like to walk up to the counter and stand up on my tiptoes to reach it and pick it up and start skimming through it.
All right, so basically what you see is that the Water Genasi kind of inhabited a small number of islands off the western coast of the continent that you're on now. And it says they were very valuable to fighting against gods that had specific abilities to affect water and all this stuff. And it said, though they were a pretty primitive society at the time, not really able to hold up with the traditional armies of the time, they tended to be very gifted spellcasters, forming water to their will as they went. And it goes on for pages upon pages talking about similar things.
Wow.
Water.
We lost Dredger.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, the longer we're in the Empire, the more they seem to really like small, tiny racist statements.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking primitive. Well then.
We're still in the shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can leave now.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this information because it's kind of stuff I knew, but whatever. Anything else in the book?
Nothing beyond what really was already said. It's just more of the same and like big battles and Water Genasi generals.
Are you like? I don't know.
Am I doing something?
No. I'm trying not to break character. I'm just thinking because I don't know what to do.
Okay. And he says, that one's also 1 silver.
At this point, I feel kind of bad for ditching out on the last book, so I fish out a silver and I toss it to him.
He takes it and he goes, wow, everyone bought a book. That never happens.
I head out of the
I feel
store.
like
Okay, so everyone leaves. All
I
right.
want to just kind of like walk around the festivities, see if I see anything that catches my attention.
Okay. You see a handful of you see all the food stalls you saw last time. You see the recruiting stall down at the end, and you see an actual like a bulletin board almost, and it's got an advertisement on it. It says final day of the festival, fighting tournament.
I grin.
Last team left standing wins the pot.
I look around for Dredger to tell him how excited I am by this. And I go, Dredger, over here at this bulletin board, there's a sign for a fighting tournament. Last one standing wins the pot.
We are outside of the shop.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
we already left. We're
the
back
I,
towards
I say, excellent. 1 second.
I bend down to Bryony. I pull her head to my head, and I say,
I would be very, very careful about asking about the cube. I would like to remind you that planar magic is outlawed in the Empire. I am not trying to get arrested.
I lean back and I go, I was gonna find out more about your axe, but I guess you're right on that too.
I don't think demonic origins of weapons would be more welcome. Anyway, yes, fighting tournament. I do enjoy a good roughhouse, as you will.
It's tomorrow, eh?
Tomorrow, I'll have my axe back. Incredible.
All right.
Well, I would
else,
like to
Ron?
sign up. Where do I sign up? I do.
Well, it says on the poster, I guess is the best description of it. It says that sign-ups are being held at the stadium just outside of the south gate.
Well, let's head over there.
Well, I would like to go there. I am unsure of my smaller compatriots.
You guys want to go fight?
Bryony is a hesitant follow.
I'm not fighting, but I'll watch.
Lovely. Well, to the south gate then. We only have time to burn.
All right. So you make it to the area. You exit the south gate, right?
Yes.
And Traven, off to your left, you hear a very familiar sound of a large thing running.
Running?
Yeah, running right at you. You look over and you see a black bear running at you.
I brace myself, but I'm ready to just take the hit.
Okay. Can you roll me a strength check, please?
Nine.
It knocks you prone and is on top of you. And
I
it's
look up at it.
breathing in your face.
I blink, my eyes like glow green, and Speak with Animals activates, and I go, "Hey there, bud. What you doing?"
Says it responds back with the words, "I was called."
I look at him. I go, "You," and I pet his nose. But remember, to everyone else watching, this is just
Yes. It's two screaming. He
and then
it
petting.
gets off of you. It gets off of you, and it sits down.
I scratch his ear.
Does that little thing that every dog does ever.
And then I hug him and I wrestle him like the way that you do with big dogs when you're playing with them.
All
We're
right.
like rolling around. Everyone's just watching me wrestle with this big black bear just rolling around.
A new friend to the group, I see.
I go, "Guys, last night I burnt some fancy stuff that I bought at the
Some of that
magic
dank
shop,
holy push.
and this is our new pal." I'm like shaking his jowls.
He's just vibing.
I go, "Okay, I didn't have a name until I left the forest. Neither did he. So, what do we call him, gang?"
He's your bear.
I don't know what names are.
Oh, correct. Well, I feel it's only fair I chose the last name for our last animal compatriot. Perhaps Aragorn has a good idea.
Timber.
Timber?
Timber?
Yeah, why not?
Unless I get outvoted by the council.
Hold on. Timber, Tim Hortons, perhaps.
Canada.
Canada.
Timber is excellent. Approved.
Air.
All right.
Party
Approved.
approving the name Timber the Black
I
Bear.
approve of Timber.
He
Can we
I look at him, I go,
spell it with an extra A so it's Tim Bear, but it's Timber?
Timber the Timber. Timber the Black Bear.
Timber.
I ruffle his face. I go, oh, your name's Timber, buddy. How's that, huh?
he grunts. He goes,
He says, I love you.
I have just met you and already I love you.
I love you.
Fun fact.
You
when I
are my
rolled-
master now. I love you.
Fun fact, when I rolled this character's his traits and flaws, his flaw is my idea of hello is a flurry of licks to the face. And that's the one I rolled.
and that would be the tackle.
This is my favorite. This is my new favorite.
All right.
Timber the Black Bear.
So, Traven is now accompanied by a black bear.
Well, that's
And
something.
do you continue your trek to Ye Olden Stadium?
Yes.
All right. So, not too long after you arrive at the stadium, which you're noticing is less of a stadium, more of just like a battleground with walls.
Like all the best stadiums.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a football field looking thing, if you knew what a football field was. And you walk in, and this guy looks at you, looks down. He doesn't even look up, and he goes, "I bet you're here to sign up for the fighting tournament. Sign-ups are about to close, but we do sign up as teams. Teams can be anywhere from 3 to 5 people." And he looks up, sees a black bear, and goes, "Why?"
Why?
I pet Timber and I go, "What's that, bud? You never seen a bear before?" And I'm just rubbing his head.
He says, "Oh God." And he looks, and he just looks at it. And he says, "That's the craziest thing I've seen since 2 people ago a guy brought in a hawk."
Do bears count as people on the team?
They definitely count as people who are not allowed to participate.
A shame.
But Timber like looks up and goes, and I go, "Yeah, I know, buddy." And I'm petting his head and I go, "But he likes fighting. He told me."
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, baby, I am so happy. 18.
He says, "Well, we did let that guy bring his hawk. Fine. But he counts as an extra person."
That's fine. There's only 4 of us anyway, and then there's the bear.
Says that's within. All right. Well, I need you to quill this sign-up sheet and sign this waiver that says if you get hurt beyond all recognition of your former self, you won't sue us.
Quick question.
Briny squeaks in fear.
Quick question.
Yes.
Are there healers on site, or do you have to bring your own? Either
There
way's
are-
fine,
there
but
are
like
healers
just
on
checking.
site. There's healers on site, but this one time we may have made it a little hard, and this guy made it to the last round, and he got kind of sat on by a troll, and he's a pancake. He's dead.
Perhaps it would be beneficial for our water friend to join our team. I understand Aragorn wants no part of this.
Briny whimpers a little bit, but you said there's a sign-up sheet and writes her name on it.
I write my name, and then I take Timber's paw, and I put ink over his whole paw, and we just splat it on the name sign up, so it takes up like 10 spaces on the sign up sheet, and I pull it away and I go, "There you are.
I mean, if I'm needed,
You wanna fight Aragorn?"
if I am needed,
He looks
More
at
the
you
merrier.
and says, basically the fight is each team will fight 2 rounds of various assailants, and whoever wins is the last one standing. We'll get the pot. If there are 2 winners, we will split the pot. It
What's
is a 25 gold buy-in as well.
Each.
That. Yeah, I
Yep.
can.
Buy in for the team or for the individual?
Individuals.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure everyone.
So I paid for the bear too.
so it's 25 gold per person just to fight.
He says, yes, we have to make sure no one's being coerced to fight.
Ugh.
Well,
And
the bear doesn't.
No, the bear doesn't have to pay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's think about this. 25 people, 25 gold per person. So that's already 100 gold from the lot of us. How many teams are there?
5.
500 gold.
He says, on top of what's given by the festival to sponsor the event, that brings it to about 700-800 gold ish.
And I just kind of gesture to him. I'm like,
I'm super in, bud. Don't gotta
That's a
convince
lot of money.
Let's make some money. Huh, Timber?
Okay, Aragorn's time.
All right. So
I sign my name, and it's like in calligraphy. It's like surprisingly like elegant for me.
Yes.
Is this compared to like your normal like fast signature that you do for autographs that is kind of messy? Is
Yeah,
that like,
well,
it's
yeah,
like
obviously.
it's like celebrities when they sign their name normally. It's just like
And
squiggle.
I point to the team book and I say, that's a rarity. That'll be worth a lot of money.
He says, I bet.
If only
Yeah.
because a bear slapped his paw print on it.
And he looks and he says, all right, so call time is it's about noon tomorrow. There will be lunch provided. We'll start fighting. You guys are actually the last in the rotation, so you get to watch the first 4 fight, and we'll start fighting about 1 o'clock.
Excellent.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. He says, good luck. Have a good night.
Thank
And he
you.
slaps up a close sign on the desk.
So
Hey
it's-
guys, do you think Josh would let me bring the bear back to the inn?
No.
I
A hard no.
am
We have
on-
done enough to that man.
Is there anywhere with like the city has like walls, right?
Yes.
Is there anywhere like inside the city where you can like camp?
Like a,
Is there a Central Park?
I mean, there's a
Can I
There-
stealth camp in Central Park?
park, but I'm not.
maybe you can hitch him to like a hitching post. Maybe
don't-
there's a hitching post.
You don't
Hitch the
really
bear.
know if they'll let you camp in the park.
I'm just trying to figure out a way, any way that's not entirely illegal in the city for me and my bear to hang out. The alternative is I'm gonna sneak him through a window into Josh Palmer's inn, which might require me to break a window.
I mean, you could probably get him in with no problem if there were a way to prove that he helps you with some service.
He is my translator for when I'm drunk. Josh has heard me sing in Bear before. He'll understand.
You would have to find a way to make a document out of that.
Oh shit!
I hate you.
I hate myself now.
I need this to be known.
I got into the world building aspect of having a bear in a city, and this is my fault.
To be fair, if you hadn't asked anything, this wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna just. stay awake tonight, I guess.
I
and
would
walk
like
around
to
with
go
my
back to the booth that Mr. Forgefire runs because it's safely said about 12 hours. It's been about the whole
Yep.
day.
You'd be correct.
Oh, Forgefire might know somewhere I can stay, or he might let me sleep out in like his smith.
He also has
there.
my demon axe.
All right.
Well, let's say that louder, why don't we?
You come back.
Say it in a speaking voice, I'm not like yelling it.
Oh, okay.
He's just loud. He seems loud. He's not actually that loud. But you go back and good old Heffron Forgefire has propped your axe up and it is air cooling the rest of the way. And he says, "Ah, you're back."
Of course. How's my weapon?
He says, "I think I made it really good." And he picks it up, and you notice the blade is now. It had a base shimmer before, just because it was very well polished metal. It is now extra shimmery.
Oh,
And he goes, "Yeah, use that whetstone a little bit to imbue it with some interesting property. And I also maybe completely replaced the handle because it was a piece of garbage. And the only person that could have possibly wielded it with that was either a masochist or a demon from hell."
yes.
So,
Is it just a different handle and everything on it is still the same?
oh yeah. The handle was just, it hurt me to even touch. So I forged a new handle. It's if you'll know, it's Dwarven Damascus. It's this new technique I've been trying out. I use a bunch of really heavy metals and I pack them up together and I fold them and it makes this cool little design. It's really cool. It's really quite sweet.
Interesting.
What benefits does this give my old pal Dredger over here?
Well, and that requires an above the table talk. Dredger, you receive a +1 Great Axe.
Hell yeah.
And it has an effect that I will talk to you about later.
Epic.
It sends its victims directly to hell.
It's not a banishing Great Axe,
That'd be horrible.
but it is a +1 Great Axe.
Excellent.
And he says, does anyone else want to have their stuff worked on? Those swords, they look like they could use some love and care.
I pull both of my swords out and like spin them, catch them, and I go, "And what would you do to them, bud?"
He says, "Well, if it were up to me, I'd completely overhaul the whole thing. I'd replace the blade. It looks like you could use a new scabbard as well. It would be an expensive job, though, because there's 2 of them. I'd say it would probably run you about 1,000 gold.
I pick them up and put them back.
He says, "That's fair. That's fair."
Do you work with bows, any bud?
Nope.
Not at all. None.
He says,
Nope.
"Maybe I might be able to work my way around a crossbow."
Yeah,
No,
that's not my speed. How about you? I look over at either of our 2 clerics who use crossbows.
He says, I might be able to forge some arrowheads."
What would your arrowheads do, bud?
He says, "Well, I can forge normal arrowheads. I could forge some arrowheads that maybe have some special properties. I could forge some big arrowheads. I could forge some little arrowheads."
You hook me. Let's go into that special properties idea.
He said, "Well, the one I'm thinking of an extra sharp arrowhead that maybe would go through a target and hit a second target. Or maybe
I'm
one
listening.
that will catch on fire."
Can I give you a deposit? And you'll work on some stuff and I'll pick it up in the morning.
He says, "Well, yeah, I guess it would depend on how much you want. And do you want them in bolts or do you want them in arrows? It's a big thing."
Arrows.
arrows. He says, I think I can do that. Each one would probably be 30 gold apiece.
I smack 60 gold on the counter, and I go,
Cool.
give me 2.
Which one? Piercing? Fire?
Piercing. 2 piercing.
Can do. And he looks at Aragorn and Brian and he goes, I can offer you two some bolts with the same properties.
You sell like
I'm a
longbows?
level with you, dude. I really don't have much gold.
What was that, Aragorn?
You sell longbows or anything?
He says, I don't really fashion longbows. That would be more the work of someone that has woodworking experience. I'm more of a metal worker.
I'm good.
Okay. He says, well, pleasure doing business with you. Cool. And he goes back and he starts brainstorming some ideas. You can tell because he pulls out a notebook and he starts writing in it. So, yeah.
All right.
Cool. And with that...
wait, 1 second. Kefram,
Yes?
if I gave you another 5 gold, could I sleep in your forge with my bear tonight?
Oh my god.
Sure. Don't.
Sure. I throw him 5 gold and cuddle up. And I go, I'll meet you guys in the morning. You head over here first thing.
I suppose.
I'm trying to make sure I don't get into any trouble with the law with timbering.
I'll ask about the bear when I get back.
And so do you guys go ahead and go to sleep? Go to your room and go to sleep? It is pretty late in the day.
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
I'm sleeping outside in the forge, but
yeah, right. And as you drift off, that is where we're going to leave for tonight. It is
right at 10
o'clock. And yeah, we will exist in the we're doing Thursday again. Not again, but we're doing Thursday. As long as y'all are still down for it. We so same time possibly, probably not as long though. Same channel. And we will we'll pick up there.